Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today I've got a collection of clips ranging from cryptid sightings to glitches in our matrix that may just leave you shocked, yet craving more. Ready? Let's jump in. We start this clip with one unusual Facebook Live video.
That's my backyard. I'm in a little piece. This is the exact spot that I just
This young lad was home when he realized strange and unusual things were happening. It felt like there was someone home with him, but that shouldn't have been the case because he was home alone. He called out a number of times asking if anyone was there, but there was no response. Freaked out, he went live on his social media page and started telling everyone what was happening. It was at this moment that whatever it was that was moving around his property decided to sneak across his yard. Unfortunately for the being, and fortunately for him, his camera was facing in the direction the being moved, and he was able to capture a few seconds of footage. That's what you see on your screen. The big question now is, what is that? The simple answer, no one knows. He suspects it's some unknown cryptid, and judging by its size and movement, I'm tempted to agree with the hypothesis. It seems like whatever it is, it didn't want to be seen and didn't want any trouble. Once his friends saw what he saw, they rushed to his home to see if they could find it, but they couldn't. They chose to upload this to find answers, and the paranormal community was divided about it. Some saw a demon, others a cryptid, and a small sect, an otherworldly creature. The strangest answer was from this user. He believed it was an ostrich. There were also some who thought the whole thing had to be fake or CGI. Given the quality of the clip, it's hard to tell without a professional's input, and our video editor is away with Julius on a mission we can't tell you about yet. So I'm going to fall back on you for this one. What do you guys think is happening here? Do you think this is real or not? Let us know in the comments section.
That's the exact motherfucking spot now. That's my backyard. I'm zooming in a little piece. This is the exact spot that I just...
Next, we've got a man who was exploring a cave mine thinking he was alone, but then he noticed something unusual from one of the mine portals. There, emerging from the shadows, was a humanoid dark figure with a glowing head. Naturally, the internet had a field day with this one. Some commenters quickly dismissed it, saying it was just a person with a headlamp. That's the rational explanation, and it makes sense. I mean, it does look like an explorer with a high-powered headlamp that may just be giving off an otherworldly glow in the darkness. But others were not so sure. They felt there was more at play. What if it's not just a headlamp? What if it's something supernatural? Mines and caves have long been the settings for ghost stories and legends. The combination of isolation and the unknown depths make them perfect breeding grounds for tales of the unexplained, and this could be one of them. Would you believe me if I told you we're at the point of growing aircraft skins and building planes that can change their shapes mid-flight? Sounds futuristic, I know, but listen.
New materials that are on the lab bench right now, they can literally change shape on command. They can become almost a muscular material.
We could have an airplane that optimizes its shape for the different flight conditions it's in.
Lockheed Martin has always been at the forefront of groundbreaking technology, with their latest innovations truly mind-blowing. They recently announced the development of an aircraft skin that could optimize its shape based on the type of flight. Sounds eerily similar to the descriptions of UFOs we've heard over the years, right? One of the men mentions OS, an aircraft that can change its shape mid-flight to become more aerodynamic, efficient, or stealthy, depending on the situation. This kind of adaptive technology could revolutionize aviation as we know it. No longer would aircraft be limited by a fixed design. They could morph and adapt, much like how nature's most efficient flyers, like birds, adjust their wing shapes. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The concept of shape-shifting aircraft brings to mind the countless UFO sightings reported worldwide. Many of these unidentified flying objects are described as having the ability to change shape or perform maneuvers that defy conventional aerodynamics. Could Lockheed Martin be inching us closer to technologies that once seemed purely science fiction? While I would love to think so, some individuals in the paranormal community believe they already have the technology and are only sensitizing us to it before they launch it. There are some who also believe that the aliens we see are no aliens at all. They believe it's Lockheed and his team testing their technology, or even running it. What do you think?
New materials that are on the lab bench right now, they can literally change shape on command. They can become almost a muscular material.
We could have an airplane that optimizes its shape for the different flight conditions it's in.
Was in Japan with her family on a night out. They were just taking a stroll, she, her husband, and their 2 sons. The boys were standing by a sakura tree while their father filmed them when suddenly he noticed something strange in the video. On one of the boy's legs, there was a pale hand gripping him from behind. The boy didn't seem to feel anything, didn't move, didn't see it, but his father did. Panicked, he rushed over, but by the time he got there, the hand had vanished. He looked around the tree, but there was nothing in sight. When Dark Secrets posted the video, the comments section blew up with theories. One commenter said it might be an ashwang, but traditionally, ashwangs are floating heads and aren't no damn hands. Another commenter suggested it was a duende, a type of mischievous spirit. Others speculated that it could be an entity from the tree, something attaching itself to the boy. Japan is famous for its haunting folklore and eerie encounters, so could that be the case here? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. A driver on the highway got the shock of a lifetime when this came driving by. It was a truck with a giant, mysterious object strapped to its trailer. Honestly, I don't even know how to describe this thing. It's enormous, and it's hard to tell if it's metallic or something else entirely. The shape is bizarre, almost otherworldly. Naturally, the internet has been buzzing with speculation. One commenter suggested it might be a sculpture being transported to an art exhibit or a museum. But with all the weirdness out there these days, it's hard not to be skeptical. Could it be some kind of top-secret government equipment, a prototype for a new type of vehicle or machinery? Maybe it's part of a movie set or something. The possibilities are endless, and that's what makes it so intriguing. There are some, however, who believe the whole thing is a hoax and a fake. What say you? One night in the Balkans, a resident was woken up by strange sounds in the middle of the night. Curious and a bit unsettled, he decided to investigate. He grabbed a flashlight and made his way toward the mountain. As he got closer, an eerie feeling of immense fear began to wash over him. That's when he saw them. 2 figures, each about 12 feet tall, stood on either side of a stone pillar. The figures were dark, with the shapes of humans draped in robes and wings spread behind them. They looked like angels, but their presence was haunting and otherworldly. The man managed to capture some footage, and when he shared it online, the internet went wild. Many believed these figures were angels, their towering forms and wings fitted the description perfectly. However, others had a more sinister interpretation, suggesting they might be fallen angels or some other dark entities. Moving on, what do we have here? An 8-foot-long centipede-like creature? How is this even possible? The paranormal community has been buzzing with this video, and people are divided on what it really is. Some are calling it a cryptid, while others are convinced it's edited footage, one made from clever CGI or special effects. Looking at it, I'm tempted to join the AI gang on this. Before Julius went on his trip, he saw this clip and told me there were no creatures like this. I did my research and found nothing too. Our in-house video editor also stated that this was more 3D than it was realistic. Looking at it again, I get where they're coming from, and I believe this is definitely not real. Despite this assertion, there are some who are unable to tell if it's real or not. Some have even advocated that it be killed. The only reason they will do that is if they believed it was real. This has left me wondering, am I thinking it isn't real because the two skeptics on my team convinced me that it was not, or is that really the case? Share your opinion. Do you think it's real? Or do you side with us in believing this is nothing but CGI? If you have got trypophobia, skip this one. You have been warned. What we have here is the fascinating and somewhat eerie sight of a mother Suriname toad. These creatures are truly unique in the animal kingdom, and what you're seeing is a remarkable example of their distinctive reproductive process. The holes on her back, from which the baby toads are emerging, are part of an extraordinary adaptation. Instead of laying eggs in water like most amphibians, the Suriname toad has developed a method that keeps her offspring safe and close. Here's how it works. The female Suriname toad lays her eggs, and then the male fertilizes them. But instead of leaving the eggs in the water, the male pushes them into the skin on her back, where they become embedded in individual pockets. Over time, the skin grows over these pockets, creating a honeycomb-like structure. Inside these pockets, the eggs hatch and the tadpoles develop, staying safe and nourished by their mother's body until they're ready to emerge as fully formed little toads. This process is not only unique, but also a bit unsettling to watch. Seeing tiny toads pop out from the holes in her back can be surprising and might make your skin crawl a little. Yet it's a brilliant evolutionary strategy, ensuring that the young have a higher chance of survival by keeping them protected during their most vulnerable stages. Creepy, but fascinating. During a lightning storm, someone captured something incredible in the sky, a shadowy figure that looks like a giant. Take a look.
Oh, holy fucking shit, guys.
The figure, cloaked in a robe and holding a stick, appeared and disappeared as quickly as the lightning struck. It looks like a scene straight out of a myth or fairy tale came to life for just a moment. We all know the story of Jack and the Beanstalk with its giant living in the clouds. Could it be that giants do exist, but in a form we don't yet understand? Perhaps they live in another dimension or realm only visible to us under specific conditions like this lightning strike. That would be cool, and I'm getting excited just thinking about it. But then again, we live in a world of AI, deepfakes, and clever editing. Could this be someone making fun of the paranormal community? Let us know what you think.
Oh, holy fucking shit, guys.
Good morning, guys. It is literally 5 a.m. And I opened the back door to put some dry food out for the stray kitties. And there are people feet printed all over my deck in the snow. Okay, I'm gonna open this. I'm not going out there. Do you see this? They start over there. And it like barefoot walks up to the table. There's nothing coming up to the... Maybe there is some coming up to the door. What? And I don't see any in the yard.
Next, we've got this clip from a woman who shared a strange and eerie encounter she's been experiencing at her home. She lives near the woods, and every once in a while, stray cats come to her doorstep, so she feeds them. One night, she woke up to the stray cats crying outside. Concerned, she went out to put some food out for them. That's when she noticed something unsettling. On her deck, where there was a thin layer of snow, there were prints, human footprints, lots of them. It looked like a group of people had come to stand there. The footprints led from the woods and then back into the woods. The footprints were human-sized, about the same size as her own feet. Not knowing what to make of it, she went back in and slept. The next day, she shared the footage online. A commenter asked her to contact the police, but she said she already did that, and they said since there was no break, there was not much they could do. A few nights later, she noticed the footprints again. They came from the woods and returned to the woods just like before. It's snowing out and very late at night. Who would be walking barefoot in the snow, and why were they always visiting her house? People online had all sorts of theories. Some suggested it might be a group of pranksters trying to spook her. Others thought it could be something more supernatural, a ghostly visitation, or even a mysterious group of people living in the woods. Whatever the case, we don't have answers, but she seems to be doing well. She even joked with one of the commenters on her page. It's our prayer that her life isn't in any danger and that she's as safe as she believes.
Do you see this? They start over there. And it like barefoot walks up to the table. There's nothing coming up to the... Maybe there is some coming up to the door.
Next, we got a group of friends out in Auburn who went fishing one day, hoping for a relaxing day by the water. But their peaceful outing took a wild turn when an unexpected creature appeared not too far from them.
What the? Oh my God, go! Run!
It was an 8-foot-tall being covered in brown fur, striding purposefully towards some nearby bushes. The sheer size and presence of the creature left them in stunned silence for a moment. Then, instincts kicked in, and they bolted straight toward their car, hearts pounding with fear and adrenaline. Luckily, one of them had been filming their fishing adventure, capturing the mysterious figure on camera. The footage is shaky, understandably so given the circumstances, but you could make out the tall, fur-covered creature moving. Now, this clip has the paranormal community excited. Some who live in the area want to go check it out, hoping they can find the big guy. Despite their excitement, however, there are those who believe the whole thing was staged by the friends. What do you think?
What the? Oh my God, go! Run!
Now, we all remember how the COVID-19 pandemic started a few years ago, leaving the entire world in a state of panic and uncertainty. Just when we thought we were moving past the worst of global health crisis, a new and terrifying threat emerged from Japan. Reports have surfaced of a flesh-eating disease that has already affected 977 individuals. The news has sent shockwaves through the medical community and beyond as people brace themselves for the potential spread of this horrifying ailment. Health officials in Japan are working around the clock to understand the disease, how it spreads, and most importantly, how to treat and contain it. The rest of the world watches with bated breath, hoping that this outbreak can be controlled before it becomes a global crisis. The memories of lockdowns, social distancing, and constant vigilance are still fresh in everyone's mind. The idea of facing another global health threat, especially one as gruesome as a flesh-eating disease, is almost too much to bear. Some have called the whole thing fake. Others think it was grown in the lab as a weapon, whereas others believe this is nothing but fear-mongering. Now, peer-reviewed journals are yet to be released on the case, but if it's true, let's pray they get everything under control. The last thing the world needs is COVID 2.0 that's capable of eating your flesh. Ever heard of the Wiseman's Woods in England? No? Legend has it that in the past, druids used to perform rituals and sacrifices there, and because of this, the woods are known to harbor a lot of spirits. Recently, a young man shared this chilling video on his social media that has everyone talking.
Walking for like an hour now. It is pissing it down. These two are doing my head in. It's getting dark. I have no idea where the dog is. What?
He had taken his little siblings out for a walk in these very woods. They had been out for so long that it was starting to get dark, and he was getting increasingly frustrated trying to wrangle his siblings back toward home. In a moment of exasperation, he decided to record a video of himself and his siblings to capture their antics. As he was filming, his camera inadvertently caught something terrifying. Behind him, among the trees, there was a dark figure. It moved very quickly and seemed to vanish almost instantly. What makes this even more unsettling is that they were in the infamous Wiseman's Woods. Given the history of this place, it's not surprising that many in the paranormal community believe the figure in the video could be one of the many entities rumored to haunt the woods. Is that the case, though? It's hard to confirm it, but let us know your thoughts in the comments section.
It's getting dark. I have no idea where the dog is.
Often hear about muscle memory, where living things repeat actions they've done for a long time almost instinctively. But did you know there's also something called the shape memory effect? This phenomenon typically occurs in materials like nickel-titanium alloys, and it's absolutely fascinating to watch. Just look at this. A piece of shapeless metal is placed on a surface, and suddenly it begins to wiggle and twist. It transforms into the shape of a paperclip. It's not magic, it's science. Next, you have a small spring that's been stretched out. It also immediately shrinks back into a tightly coiled spring. These materials have something similar to a memory. When heated, they remember their original form and return to it, no matter how much they've been deformed. This happens because of their unique molecular structure, which allows them to revert to their predetermined shape when exposed to the right conditions. Incredible, isn't it? I saw some comments underneath the original post that had me first laughing and then thinking, I know it's not related, but it would be great if we could do this, wouldn't it? Religion is often seen as a counterattack against evil forces. At least that's what many religious people believe. They practice rituals like praying, attending Mass, and reading sacred texts such as the Bible or the Quran, believing these acts protect them from dark entities.
El Señor esté con ustedes y con tu espíritu.
Back in 2022, something truly chilling happened in Chihuahua, Mexico, that got people talking.
El Señor esté con ustedes y con tu espíritu.
During a Mass, while a priest was reading from the Bible, a loud, echoing scream pierced the air. It sounded like a man's voice desperately crying out for help. The eerie sound was so disturbing that they could see the priest and everyone on the podium turn to look back, visibly shaken. The video doesn't show where the scream came from, but it left the congregation and viewers online deeply unsettled. Some people believe it might have been a sign of a tormented soul or even a dark entity reacting to the holy reading.
El Señor esté con ustedes y con tu espíritu.
We say plants are living things. They can eat, grow, and die. However, they're not as mobile as animals and humans. Their roots plant them firmly in the soil, so walking plants are not a thing, or so I thought until I came across this footage. Someone noticed that the tree in his backyard just uprooted itself from the soil and left. Just look at this. There are no strings or machines around pulling it out. In the subsequent clips, we see a farmer attending to his small plants in a bed when out of nowhere the plants just dashed off. They remind me of the Ents from J.R.R. Tolkien's Middle-earth ancient tree-like beings that can walk and talk. Could there be a basis in reality for such fantastical creatures? If these sightings are genuine, they could signify an entirely new aspect of plant life that we have yet to understand. Imagine the implications for ecology and biology if certain plants could move to new locations. Okay, maybe I shouldn't get ahead of myself. The clips could very well be fake. What do you guys think, though? No, that spider isn't moonwalking, but it is walking on water. It looks like something out of a fairy tale, except it's not. This here is a type of tarantula that has tiny hairs on its leg that allow it to avoid breaking surface tension. In simpler terms, this quality allows it to walk on water without sinking. The sight is mesmerizing and a bit eerie. After all, there's a tarantula defying the laws of nature. The tiny hairs, known as setae, are what enable this remarkable feat. The combination of the spider's black body with the striking white spots on its legs makes it look almost otherworldly as it moves effortlessly across the water's surface. But rest assured, nothing alien or paranormal happening here. It's just science. If any of you come across any of these spiders, share your experience. Scientists have allegedly discovered a 2-billion-year-old nuclear reactor in Africa. Alongside this discovery, they found that uranium has already been extracted from the site. This remarkable discovery has stunned the scientific community. Could ancient civilizations really be much smarter than we give them credit for? There are some who seem to think so, like this member of our paranormal community. The reactor, located in Oklo, Gabon, is believed to have functioned for about 500,000 years. It might have operated through a natural chain reaction using water as a neutron moderator, much like our modern nuclear reactors. Dr. Seaborg, a Nobel Prize-winning chemist who helped discover plutonium, stated that the conditions and the setup of the Oklo reactor suggest a level of sophistication that seems beyond what we previously believed ancient humans could achieve. Is there a chance we're just repeating their lives and possibly making the same mistakes they made that made these technologies disappear from our history books? A part of me thinks so, but what are your thoughts? While out in the woods with a friend who was attending to some dried plants, a man started filming and panning his camera around. While we can't tell why he was doing it, we do see something unusual coming into view. Running pretty fast behind a tree was this strange miniature creature. The creature wasn't very far from them and seemed to be running away from the worksite. This creature was clearly bipedal and had largely oddly shaped ears. You can't make out the rest of its features. Some suggest it's an animal known for its ability to stand on two legs, with a small primate or even a kangaroo rat. Others lean toward a more fantastical explanation, a fairy tale creature like a goblin or a forest sprite. Given the short clip, it's hard to tell, but what do you think this mysterious miniature bipedal creature with large ears could be? Let us know in the comments. Next, we've got this clip sent in by a subscriber. Take a look. was on his bicycle when he came across a little boy on a bicycle. Right after the boy rode past him, the same boy appeared again on another bicycle approaching. Naturally, he was very shocked. The same person appeared twice on the same bicycle. How? Could this have something to do with the glitches in the Matrix? Was he duplicated by a glitch in the Matrix? This is the question I was asking myself until I took a closer look. When you look at the shoes, the first boy had an all-black sneaker, while the second boy had a white patch at the front of his sneaker. Why does this matter? Well, there's a chance that they could be identical twins. They were in the same clothes, on the same bike, with the same face and structure except for their shoes. Identical twins can create some eerie and surprising moments, especially when they're dressed alike. I guess we can call them nature's glitches. What do you think? Mystical creatures are mystical for a reason. There's no way they can be real until people start showing these types of footage, and then everyone becomes confused. Take a look at this footage of what looks like a centaur. A woman is lying on the ground with the lower part of a horse, and there are two people standing over her. For those unfamiliar with the term, a centaur, a mythical creature with the upper body of a human and the lower body of a horse. They have been part of folklore and mythology for centuries. Seeing such a creature in what appears to be a modern real-world setting is mind-boggling. While I want to be excited and believe this is real, the most logical explanation is that this footage is a product of modern visual effects or elaborate costumes. What do you think? This bizarre-looking set of remains was found deep in the forest. The carcass is massive and you can clearly see the ribs. However, when you get to the head, there's something truly alarming. The head looks strikingly similar to one of the raptors from Jurassic World. This doesn't even look like it was made. It's covered in dust and embedded in the forest's floor, indicating that this thing has been here for quite a while. Could these be the remains of a dinosaur? Perhaps one that somehow survived until more recent times, long after dinosaurs were believed to have gone extinct. Just imagine a dinosaur or something very much like it existing in our time. How did it survive? What did it eat? Where did it live? These are questions that scientists would be eager to explore. Experts in paleontology and zoology would need to examine the remains closely, analyzing the bone structure and possibly extracting DNA to determine what kind of creature this was. For now, we can only speculate. But one thing is certain, this discovery is extraordinary and needs a thorough investigation. Someone came across this unusual creature on the ground in the park. It looked like a bat, but it was out during the day and seemed quite aggressive. It let out a strange growl, like squeak, as it tried to attack the man behind the camera. Finding such a creature during the day is unusual for a bat, as they are typically nocturnal. The aggressive behavior and the strange vocalizations add to the mystery. While bats can sometimes be active during the day due to illness or disturbance, it's rare to encounter one acting so aggressively. What do you think this creature could be? This man's unique perspective is truly fascinating.
When you take all the temples that are around the pyramid and the other two pyramids that are next to it, and you look at it from the sky looking down, and you connect them, you get an inner planet system of our solar system.
When you take a bird's eye view of the Pyramid of Giza and the surrounding temples, you notice something remarkable. The arrangement mirrors the interplanetary solar system. When compared with a NASA map, the alignment fits incredibly well. But here's the intriguing question. NASA wasn't around in those ancient times, so how did they figure this out? Think about it. The precision and accuracy needed to map such a complex structure to the solar system are astounding. This suggests that the ancient builders must have had access to some advanced form of technology or knowledge that allowed them to achieve this. It's a mind-boggling thought. How did they gain such an understanding of astronomy? Did they possess sophisticated tools or methods lost to history? Or was there an exchange of knowledge from otherworldly sources? Share your thoughts and perspectives. Let's decode this together. Now take a look at another wonder that was captured by a group of hikers. They stumbled upon this massive rock structure, but guess what? They discovered that this rock wasn't just a solid mass. It had compartments with doors that could be opened, leading into a tunnel. Being the logical beings they are, they didn't dare venture inside. Around the world, there are numerous secret facilities, many constructed during wartime for people to hide out. Interestingly, in some of these facilities, strange and suspicious things have been found that don't quite fit the narrative of being mere wartime hideouts for soldiers. Considering this stone structure in the middle of nowhere, what could have been done there? Was it an ancient facility of some sort, or perhaps the lair of an intelligent being? Some think that it's how Bigfoot hides from us. Sounds ludicrous, I know, but we still need an explanation, so share your thoughts. I just don't get why people put themselves through the torture of going into abandoned houses. They are likely hotspots for paranormal activities. Take a look at this footage, for instance. A woman goes into an abandoned building. She moves from room to room until she gets to one of the toilets, and this happens. In the toilet is black hair that looks like there's a head under the seat. The toilet lid suddenly slams open and closes as soon as the woman gets closer. It's as if the entity is warning her from getting any nearer. This makes her slowly back away from the place. Who knows what entities or spirits linger in these forgotten structures? Would you dare to explore an abandoned house, knowing what might be waiting for you inside? Yeah, that's a road flooded with water and ice. Just look at that. I hope the person who took the footage is fine because the water is at the same level as the front mirror, and the car is submerged in it. Nature is scary. The sheer power and unpredictability of natural forces can be overwhelming. Floods like this remind us of how vulnerable we are to the elements. One moment everything is calm, and the next you're facing a torrent of icy water that could sweep away cars and pose serious dangers to anyone caught in its path. It's astonishing how quickly conditions can change, transforming a familiar road into a hazardous river. The combination of water and ice makes it even more treacherous, with the risk of hypothermia and the challenge of navigating through ice chunks. On second thought, is that even ice at all? And how hasn't the engine given up already? Share your thoughts.
Ya, teman-teman. Tuh.
Iya.
Oke, saya dapat. Harumnya.
This man came across a strange-looking creature in a cave. It's said that the creature is a cave gremlin. It was a miniature being with dark, beady eyes and a mouth with teeth sticking out. Many would have run at the sight of this creature, but the man took the creature home, cooked it, and ate it. Yes, this man ate a gremlin. That is one of the most bizarre things I've ever come across on the internet. Gremlins are often considered mythical creatures with various stories and legends attributing them with magical or mischievous qualities. Eating a potential mystical or unknown creature not only disregards cultural and mythical significances, but also poses serious health risks. Who knows what kind of diseases or toxins an unknown creature might carry? If this is indeed real, do you think people should show more respect for unknown and mythical creatures, or should turning them into delicacies be the acceptable norm? Share your thoughts.
Harumnya.
In this next footage, a man is seen bent over a river, waving his hand in the water as a large creature approaches from below. I don't know if this is a death wish or what, but it looks like a giant crocodile to me. If it's a crocodile, the man's bravery or recklessness is astonishing. Crocodiles are powerful predators, and getting this close to one is incredibly risky. On the other hand, if it's just a large fish, the situation takes on a completely different tone. Perhaps the man is aware of what's really in the water and is just interacting with a curious but harmless aquatic creature. It's hard to say, but what do you think is happening here? Would you look at that? A table of pandas having a party. Very hilarious. Look at what the zookeepers have prepared for these fuzzy guys. 4 large pandas are sitting on wooden chairs around a table of food, munching away. Such an adorable sight to see. These pandas, with their big round faces and playful behavior, always manage to bring a smile to our faces. The zookeepers have set up a delightful spread of bamboo and other treats, making it look like a proper panda feast. It's heartwarming to see the pandas enjoying their meal, almost like a group of friends. Take a look at this. A man cuts out the EMV chip, the golden box on a credit card, and inserts it into the SIM card slot of his phone. Incredibly, it connects to a network. What kind of hack is this, and how is it even possible? EMV chips are designed for secure transactions, holding encrypted data that's only supposed to work with payment terminals. But here we see it behaving like a SIM card connecting to a mobile network. There's absolutely no way this is real. These bleeding tree clips never get old. Just look at that. A man is cutting through a tree and gushing out his crimson red liquid. It's an astonishing sight, almost as if the tree is alive in a way we don't usually think about. This phenomenon is typically seen in a specific type of tree known as the bloodwood tree, found in places like South Africa. When cut, it releases a sap that resembles blood, adding to its mystique and intrigue. The crimson sap isn't actually blood, of course, but it does serve a purpose. It can act as a deterrent to pests and help seal wounds to protect the tree from infections. The sight of the red sap flowing from the tree can be both mesmerizing and unsettling, making you question the wonders of nature. Have you ever seen anything like this before? Imagine throwing your shoe into the sky and instead of falling like we would all expect, it vanishes. It might sound like a magical trick or a fictional tale. Well, this happened to a group of men in Brazil. This group of men were having a guys' night out at an outdoor bar when they noticed a mysterious shining object in the sky. At first glance, you would think it's just a star, but just wait and see what happens. 2 of them decided to investigate, and one brave soul daringly removed his slipper and threw it at the shiny object. Incredibly, the slipper vanishes into thin air. Even more astonishing was that the shiny object they were studying suddenly took off, sending the entire group into a frenzy. As you can witness, they were all shouting and scrambling away in fear. What do you think they saw? Some kind of fairy or what? And who can explain how the slipper just vanished? We normally hear about cases of children being born with 2 heads and 1 torso, a rare medical phenomenon. But have you ever considered that similar occurrences might happen in the animal kingdom as well? Well, let this clip do the talking. Enjoy the footage. Recorded by a woman who's utterly amazed, this footage captures a deer peacefully grazing on grass. The sight was just serene, beautiful, and therapeutic. She decides to film the whole thing, but that's when she notices something astonishing. The deer she's filming has 2 heads and 1 torso. While it's difficult to fathom, this isn't the first instance of such a phenomenon. There have been records of such occurrences in the animal kingdom. As she ponders the mystery, she soon realizes that there's no mystery at all. The footage is nothing but the result of a visual illusion. There are actually 2 deer in the picture, but the positioning of the 2 animals and the perspective of the Trailcam capturing the image makes it look like one creature. But imagine a 2-headed deer. The sight and thought of it is crazy, right? This is the ancient Kal Bhairav Temple. For all of you who are unfamiliar with it, the ancient Kal Bhairav Temple holds reverence as a sacred site dedicated to Kal Bhairav, a formidable manifestation of the Hindu deity Lord Shiva. Depicted as a fierce figure with dark skin carrying a skull, Kal Bhairav is venerated as the ruler of time and death in Hindu mythology. Devotees believe in his role as a protector, and worshippers seek his blessings through devoted prayers and rituals at this revered temple. However, during this tour through the temple, this person filmed something eerie. Behind the statue at the entrance of the temple, a dark entity pokes its head out. Before you jump up and scream, "It's a shadow," you should know that that's not how shadows behave. Also, the space behind this statue is too small for a person to fit in without being spotted. So, what exactly was that dark figure? Is it a manifestation of one of the gods, a demon, or is this whole thing a complete hoax? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Now, let's take a look at another puzzle. In Japan, a mysterious sighting unfolded as a cloud resembling a donut appeared in the sky. The cloud seems to be very white and has a slight glow to it. According to reports, this appeared in the sky right before they had a 7.6 earthquake. While it's very strange, there are some talks that this same type of cloud appeared in Turkey as well just before another earthquake. In some cultures, unusual natural occurrences are often interpreted as signs or messages from the divine. This suggests these clouds could be premonitions or warnings of impending danger. But some skeptics think it's just a blue beam projection, a technology that could potentially create optical illusions in the sky. The paranormal community, however, are convinced that what we are looking at is a portal to another world or universe. Which theory among these 3 do you agree with? A cosmic warning, a technological illusion, or a glimpse into another dimension? Next, we visit the woodlands of Wisconsin. How many creatures do you know that can and would stalk a coyote? Well, now that I think about it, there are quite a few creatures capable of stalking a coyote. However, they'd have to be predators themselves, right? Well, take a look at this footage. In the footage, we witness a coyote going about its usual routine when suddenly 2 eyes appear on the left side of the screen. The coyote notices the presence too and turns around, fixing its gaze on the same exact spot. What was it? A cryptid? A human? Another large animal? Well, we can't say for sure, but what say you? Do you think there was really something there, or is this merely a clever edit meant to throw us off? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section. Next, we have this apparent ghost footage that was sent out to us by an individual out exploring on a snowy night. According to him, he sensed a presence stalking him in the dark and quickly grabbed his phone, turning on the flashlights to capture the moment. Suddenly, he felt the creature's presence shift behind a tree, concealing itself. Now, if I were in that situation, I would have sprinted for dear life, but this guy, well, he had other plans. Believe it or not, he decided it would be a great idea to chase after the mysterious creature and document it. With determination, he located the tree and captured a video of the creature. Brace yourself, for I'm not sure how you're going to take this, and behold, the moment of truth. See it? Yes, that scary-looking, cute creature is the ghost the individual was very scared of. Confused? Don't worry. It seems the cold, dark night played tricks on his senses, turning a harmless puppy into a bone-chilling phantom. Thankfully, it was just an adorable pup braving the cold alongside him. How would you have reacted if you were in his shoes? Would you have laughed at the realization, or would you have assumed that you were dealing with a skinwalker that had just changed form? Tell us in the comments section. This next video could potentially offend some paranormal enthusiasts, but it does make some valid points. It features suspected Bigfoot footage that was released and debunked by a man. The creature in the footage looks strange and was reported to be a Bigfoot, but it looks nothing like your typical Bigfoot. The man used some sort of facial comparison technique to analyze the creature's facial features and proportions. The results showed that they didn't match those of a Bigfoot. Another thing that stood out was the way the creature blinked. It looked totally unnatural and not at all like how primates move their eyelids. The man concluded that the creature in the footage was animatronic, but that doesn't necessarily mean that every Bigfoot sighting is fake. Or, well, what do you think? So we received another perplexing footage. Take a look at it yourself. What do you see when you look at this? Well, the individual who sent this in believes he's captured none other than the legendary T-Rex. As much as I love dinosaurs, there's no way that's a T-Rex. Even if we can get over the size difference and how unstriking the supposed resemblance is, you have to agree that the movement is not one you would associate with a T-Rex. But then again, you see the clip too, don't you? What do you make of it? Next, we have an image that was recorded by a couple while they were working together to refurbish their mobile home. Let's take a look. Imagine hearing strange noises over a period of time and feeling like someone was peeking into your mobile home from the windows at night. Imagine having no proof and deciding to set up a camera to juxtapose the window. Now imagine checking the captures and footage to see the image on your screen right now. What creature do you think this is? If you said you didn't know, well, you're right, but what if you did know? I mean, I'm very convinced that it's Bigfoot. Take a look at those facial features. Do you know any other creature with similar features? Bear in mind, there are no apes in the region where this was taken, at least according to the narrative of the couple. If this is Bigfoot, we have questions. Are they becoming increasingly reckless and allowing themselves to be seen, or is there a secret and grand agenda we're not aware of? That appears to be the case if you ask me, but what do you think? Let's dial it down a notch and get right into the heart of this intriguing story. A man is out on his property, minding his own business, when he hears some rather strange noises coming from the woods. Naturally curious, he decides to pull out his camera and start recording just in case he stumbles upon something interesting. As he pans his camera through the trees, what does he spot? Well, it's not your everyday woodland critter, that's for sure. It's more like an enigmatic creature lurking in the shadows, adding an air of mystery to the scene. Now, here's the kicker. This isn't the first time our property owner has sensed something unusual out there. He's noticed peculiar movements and heard strange sounds that are a bit of a head-scratcher. It's like a mix between a dog's bark and a child's voice, and it's enough to raise an eyebrow or two. So naturally, the debate rages on. Some folks are quick to label it as a sighting of the legendary Bigfoot, while others are intrigued by that dog-like sound and think it might be the infamous Dogman. What's clear is that this is one of those puzzles that keeps us guessing, trying to figure out what exactly we're dealing with. Is it a Bigfoot, Dogman, or something entirely different? You tell us. A couple were enjoying a peaceful camping trip in the forest until they discovered a strange print on the car window. Upon closer inspection, they realized it was a handprint that looked greasy and emitted an unpleasant odor. Initially, the man thought that his girlfriend was playing a prank on him, but she insisted that she had nothing to do with it.
I swear to God I'm not with you. That is what me up right there.
The handprint was slightly larger than that of a human and had distinctive features that resembled those of an animal, specifically a primate. It was a puzzling sight, and they couldn't help but wonder which animal could have left such a mark. Could it be a monkey, an ape, a gorilla, the legendary Bigfoot, or the famed and even more elusive Dogman? They carefully examined the print, trying to discern any clues that could help them solve this mystery. I have my own theories too, but today I want to hear yours. What do you think could have left such a mark? After a tsunami hit Japan, this creature was found washed up on the shores. It looks like a jellyfish without its tentacles. It was pinkish, and when someone used a stick to turn it over, they found the opening and its surface were sticky. As if this was not weird enough, someone decides to pour a bottle of Coke over this mysterious being, and to everyone's amazement, it reacts by shooting out white fluids. So what in the world could this strange creature possibly be? Is it a denizen of the deep, or perhaps it's an entirely new species previously unknown to science until this very moment? Who, or should I say what, is that? This creature was captured on a Trailcam and the uploader didn't know what to make of it. It's a humanoid who stands about 6 feet tall but is wearing a dress. It has long black hair and looks somewhat like an ape in that dress. The arms are hairless and have what looks like veins popping out. And the face, oh my goodness, that's hideous. Not sure I've called any creature hideous, but that one scares me. Upon closer inspection, those are definitely not human arms or an ape's. As much as I'd like to call it an ape, I'd say it doesn't quite fully fit the bill. It looks scary at first, but the more I look at it, the more I'm led to think and believe that it looks like a human in a costume. What do you think, though? What creature do you think this is? Tell us in the comments section. Next, we have these mysterious tracks from a riverside. Which creature do you think they belong to? Certainly, they're much bigger than the humans, and whatever it was that left that track has to have been quite heavy as well because they're quite deep. If you pay attention to the capture, you'll realize that there is a second print in the sand to the left of the foot tracks that looks like partial prints of the hands of whatever creature was responsible for the footprint. Experts who reviewed the image state they could see the print of a weasel on the foot track in the image. Using this, they measured the tracks to be between 18 to 20 feet. Can you think of any creature with hands and feet that ginormous? Yes, Bigfoot. I guess the tracks are not so mysterious after all. Venturing into the icy wilderness of Russia, someone stumbled upon a truly heart-wrenching scene. 3 mountain goats frozen in time, their bodies overtaken by the relentless cold. It's a harsh reality, especially when you consider that temperatures can plummet to a bone-chilling 58 degrees below average near Oymyakon. This remote region is sparsely populated with just 500 to 900 residents as of 2018. It's known for its unforgiving cold, and it's the kind of place that doesn't easily welcome human settlement. And I guess we know now why. Now back to the mountain goats. In their quest for solace from the biting cold, these tenacious beings unwittingly encountered a fate as frigid as the icy winds that surrounded them. A poignant reminder of the brutal, harsh, and sometimes unforgiving nature of life in these harsh, icy landscapes. Well, either that or this is just very good taxidermy. In a time where mysterious sightings continue to proliferate, another enigma unfolds in our night skies. There was a luminous object spotted in the sky one night. It had this rectangular shape, but looked like the moon. It's hard to make it out because it's hidden in the sky, but as it moves, you can see it. While the term UFO simply denotes an unidentified flying object, it doesn't necessarily imply one of extraterrestrial origin. There could be various explanations, ranging from atmospheric phenomena to human-made objects or, in some cases, natural celestial bodies. While I have my theories on what this might be, I'd like to hear yours. What do you think we could be dealing with here? As if we haven't had enough surprises for today, take a look at this footage taken by a drone. It looks like some sort of chamber built between a mountain. It looks like some kind of hideout, but the real question is, who built it and for what reason? Some skeptics believe it's a Bigfoot lair, while others think it's some kind of alien hideout. Some also believe it's the Ancient Ones, and while we can't verify any of these claims, it's evident that whatever built the place must have been pretty smart to come up with something like this. Paranormal critics say it was built as a safe chamber during the World War era, and that there's nothing special about it. Others state it's a tourist site, but don't mention where. So before I jump on the boat and declare my stand, can any of you confirm whether this is a well-known location or if it is indeed a newly discovered and alien location? We'll be reading the comments. This next Trailcam image was captured during the eerie hours of the night, a time when the unknown often comes alive. Take a look. In the midst of this seemingly desolate setting, an unexpected presence emerges. Is this a cryptid? Could it be Bigfoot or perhaps a pale and ghostly humanoid figure? Well, not exactly. A golden light graces the night sky, offering a unique sight. It takes the form and appearance of an orb, which only leaves many questions. If you're new to this channel, you might probably be wondering what I'm going on about. If you're a veteran here, you know orbs in the night are usually a sign of spiritual and supernatural activity. One question remains, though. Is this one such activity, or is there a more logical explanation for this? Share your thoughts with us. In an unexpected turn of events, a trail camera owner retrieved his device from the woods, hoping to find footage of wild animals, but was met with a truly shocking discovery. Staring directly at the camera was a deer, yet far from ordinary. Its antlers and eyes glowed in a haunting shade of orange, imparting an eerie and almost supernatural aura. Looks like the creature just crawled out of the pits of hell. What could this be? Conspiracy theorists and supernatural enthusiasts are having a field day with this one. Theories are flying left and right, with some suggesting it's a spirit animal, others a deer with some otherworldly energy, and another subsect stating that perhaps it's a forest guardian keeping an eye on the trail cam owner. While these theories are wild, there are those on the flip side questioning if this is a case of post-production wizardry. Perhaps someone got creative with editing software, turning a regular deer into a luminescent woodland mystery. Logically speaking, I know the last one is the easiest to believe among all the listed factors, but I also want to believe we're dealing with the supernatural. What do you guys think? How would you react if you casually saw military men in your city casually shooting blanks in the name of a drill? Well, for the inhabitants of Riga, this was no hypothetical question. It's actually happened. It turns out that this is a usual thing in Latvia, and people are informed way before time. That's why everyone is moving around casually as if nothing's happening. I know many who saw this when it first hit the internet were worried, but personally, I want to visit Latvia just to experience this. Who knows, I might even join the army. What do you think? Next, we have this very odd zombie footage. If you're a fan of The Last of Us, this footage might just give you an adrenaline rush or send shivers down your spine. Regardless, the footage reveals a figure resembling a man moving in an uncanny robotic manner. To our surprise, it's venturing deep into the heart of the woods. For those familiar with zombies, you'd agree that this behavior is highly uncharacteristic of them. Typically, zombies gravitate towards densely populated areas. However, who knows? There might be a hidden village or something else intriguing deep within those woods. But who knows? Perhaps there might be a village or something in there. Personally, I don't think that's a real zombie, but then again, there's not enough footage to disprove it. What about you? Do you think it's real or is it a hoax? Next, we have another mysterious video which features yet another sighting of a cryptid. The creature appears to be walking away from the camera, but you can still make out its features. Just like the previous image, this creature has dark fur and walks on 2 feet. Unlike the previous footage, however, this beast looks more like a bear. You and I, however, know that bears don't have this posture. I'm sure my paranormal geeks already guessed, though. Yes, it's a Bigfoot. Bigfoots are quite famous in the mythical world. Though there are no official reports of them ever being caught, many have captured glimpses of them from afar on their cams. In most encounters, the creature is either lurking or unaware. Those who have had close encounters with them have never been able to capture clear videos. You have to understand that their intimidating presence up close is enough to make anyone forget about trying to take a picture or a video. The only evidence those who have had such encounters have is the word of mouth. The Bigfoot mystery continually excites the paranormal community even today. But what's your take? Are they real or simply exaggerated folklore? Just take a look at this. It's a waterfall of fire cascading down the mountain, creating a mesmerizing scene before my eyes.
It just won't stop.
This is the legendary Yosemite Firefall, a spectacle that occurs every year from mid to late February when the sunset hits Yosemite's Horsetail Fall at a particular angle, giving it the illusion of a molten lava-like stream of fire. The contrast between the bright orange and red hues of the firefall and the dark, rugged landscape of the mountain creates an awe-inspiring vision that's hard to replicate. The Yosemite Firefall is a phenomenon that has been captivating people's imaginations for decades. It's a rare occurrence, and it lasts only for a short period, making it all the more special. It's a remarkable reminder of how nature can be both beautiful and powerful, and it's an unforgettable experience for anyone lucky enough to have witnessed it. If the devil were to walk among us, perhaps this is the form he would take. This chilling encounter was reported by someone who stumbled upon this enigmatic being perched on a hill in the dead of night. With its back turned to the camera, the creature's silhouette reveals a pair of ominous wings unfurling from its back and a horn-like projection. While it's reminiscent of the gargoyle, this entity appears larger and more human-like, evoking an unsettling aura of malevolence. Could this truly be the devil manifesting in our midst, or is there another explanation for this unearthly presence? Let's take a look at this next footage that was uploaded to the web by a farmer named Cassie. Cassie and his girlfriend lived on a spacious farm property where he usually shares videos of their farm life. However, recently eerie nighttime noises have disrupted their peace.
So, I don't know what to do here.
Did you catch the noise in the footage? It sounded like the cry from some sort of animal, but they just couldn't put a finger around the exact animal. It sounded like a howl, but not like that of a wolf or a dog. So what could it be? No one knew, at least until one night when the noise woke Cassie from his sleep, prompting him to investigate. What he found was a strange creature lurking in the darkness. The creature's eyes glowed ominously in the darkness. Fortunately, he had a gun with him, so he fired a few shots that scared the creature away. A few days later, the howling began again, and the farmer once again went out with his gun to investigate because his girlfriend said she heard some noise on the roof. When he went out to check, there the creature was, standing on the roof and glaring down at him. When he tried to get a closer look, the creature was long gone, leaving a pile of bones on the roof. The paranormal community believes it could be a werewolf or dog man, but the skeptics doubt it. In fact, they believe it's a hoax to garner attention and likes. Which is truth? Well, no one knows for sure, but what do you think? Still on the bizarre and unexplainable, watch this footage. In the footage, we see a raccoon in its natural habitat that appears to be going about its business. Unbeknownst to the little critter, it walked within the field of view of a trail camera set up in that deserted part of a forest. The raccoon, oblivious to the fact that it's being spied on, is foraging for food like it would any other day. As cute as this little critter is, pay attention to the top left side of the screen. Do you see it? A set of lights appears from nowhere and quickly disappears as soon as they appear. They're reminiscent of airplane lights, but the area where the footage was taken from is no flight zone. So, if it was not an airplane, where are those lights coming from? Could it have been from an alien spaceship? And if they were indeed from an aircraft, why the sudden disappearance? Did they notice they were being watched? So many questions and so few answers. Can you help? Can you clarify what's going on for us? If you think you've seen it all, just take a look at this. This creature was seen on the water's surface. An observer zoomed in to capture the moment, and you notice that this creature looks strange. Could it be a sneaky eel, smoothly moving through the water, or perhaps a dangerous sea snake gliding with deadly accuracy? Well, no one can say for sure, but Julius says it's definitely CGI generated. What do you guys think? In a calm river, something extraordinary happens. A man steps into the water and effortlessly glides forward, moving with remarkable speed and grace. Can I even call it gliding? It's almost as though he was hovering and just levitating through the water. How can this man move so smoothly through the water? It feels like driving a knife through butter. It's like he's being pushed by an invisible force, effortlessly cutting through the water with each graceful movement. Is he some kind of hybrid creature, part human, part fish, a mix of two creatures? Who knows? This is the Kiev Bridge in Ukraine. Do you spot anything odd in this footage? Now, direct your attention below the bridge. Do you notice something peculiar? Behold, a creature boldly crawling upside down along the bridge. It's not a human because no human would attempt this circus show without a ladder, lift, or a harness unless it was a suicide attempt, which this does not appear to be. Could this be some kind of humanoid roaming in the streets? The emergence of weird creatures over the years has left a lot of room for speculation whenever rare things like this occur. Now, some may argue it's an ape, but personally I'm leaning toward the possibility of it being a cryptid, an elusive creature that defies conventional understanding. What do you think? Still on Bigfoot, we have this footage taken by an explorer in a cave. As with all his expeditions, he'd hoped to find something interesting. Instead, he was met with an eerie presence he couldn't quite discern. After exploring the surroundings, he finally pinpointed the source of the eerie feeling. Within the darkness, he discovered not just one, but 4 beings. Their eyes glistened in the dark as they stared back at him. Although it was dark, he could tell that those eyes belonged to large creatures, much larger than he was. Frightened, he ran away, leaving all his gadgets behind. He returned later with some team members to investigate, but the creatures had vanished. He reviewed the footage he'd recorded and saw what you see on your screen. Those eyes, the dark fur, and their size. He was convinced they were a family of Bigfoot. If you ask me, it's not impossible, but what do you think of the images? So, riddle me this. I've always wanted to say that.
But listen carefully.
What gently hums in the country air, a hidden melody beyond compare. neither seen nor known. In fields it hides a mystical sound that softly abides. The answer to this riddle is the answer to what's responsible for the hum. If you know it, tell us in the comments section. Start your answer with the word riddle so we can easily identify it. We may have something nice for the person with the right answer.
This motherfucker just fell from the sky.
A man was apparently out on a job when this object fell from the sky. The said object had smoke coming from it and it made a hole in the ground where it fell. He shared his discovery with the online community, hoping for some praise and answers, but all he was met with was skepticism and disdain. Many who saw the object are calling it a hoax and arguing that the object looks a bit too man-made for comfort. It seems like the line between reality and attention-seeking fiction is getting blurrier by the day. In cases like these, critical examination by professionals can help distinguish between genuine astronomical phenomena and instances that may involve human-made objects or deliberate attempts to garner attention. Looking at this, though, I give my votes to those calling it a hoax. What about you? What do you think this could be? This next clip has nothing to do with trail cams, but all the things to do with the paranormal. Take a look. At the start, the camera zooms in on a really cool bunch of trees that you'd expect from a typical woodland area. But in just a few seconds, things get super weird. Out of nowhere in this forest, a strange figure appears. It's like something from another world, all strange and mysterious, and it's high up on a tree. At first glance, this figure looks kind of like a person, but its features are all blurry and hard to make out. If you saw this in real life, you'd probably get some severe chills. Now, here's the kicker. This is a screen recording of footage from Google Maps, at least the uploader claims it is. This has left people arguing about what's truly going on in the video. Some believe it's a supernatural being, while others believe it's just utterly ridiculous. According to them, there's no way Google Maps or Street could capture things in the forest. Sounds logical, but is anyone with experience with these apps? Is capturing something like this even possible with the app? Please tell us in the comments section. Now let's dive into a classic Canadian tale that's been circulating for quite some time. Picture this, a tranquil Canadian lake, the kind of place where you'd go for a peaceful day out. But here's the twist. Beneath that calm surface lies a mystery that's kept locals buzzing for ages. Enter the mysterious creature, the one that doesn't fit into any neat category. It's not a whale, not your typical fish, and certainly not your everyday lake dweller. This creature has earned itself the affectionate name Agopogo, and it's said to be a resident of British Columbia's Okanagan Lake. Now, when we talk about Agopogo, we're dealing with something a bit elusive, to say the least. Descriptions of this creature tend to be as murky as the lake waters it calls home. But here's what we've got. A glimpse of its rear end, complete with a long, fish-like tail that gracefully sways through the water. Is the Ogopogo a living relic, a holdover from a prehistoric era, or just a quirky legend akin to the Loch Ness Monster? The truth is, we don't know, but we hope both these creatures are real, or at least one is. In this next clip, we encounter a seemingly supernatural phenomenon, an ordinary roll of toilet paper suspended in mid-air, frozen in time. No need for supernatural explanations here. This peculiar phenomenon is a masterpiece crafted by none other than humans and the cold. All it took was a dry toilet paper and a splash of water left exposed to the bone-chilling elements. The result, a mid-air spectacle, a frozen masterpiece. It shows weather conditions are getting worse by the day. Hot places are cranking up the heat, and cold places are turning into icy wonderlands. This sure serves as a chilly reminder of the changing climate. Just a quick reminder before the next clip comes. If you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? You wouldn't want me to send a Bigfoot after you, now would you? A group of unsuspecting anglers peacefully cast their lines, only to be greeted by a colossal creature gliding beneath the water's surface. They recorded this and placed it on the internet. Once the video started to gain traction, everyone had one question. What could that be? Some suggested the usual suspects, a playful dolphin or perhaps a mammoth catfish. A closer look, however, and you'd realize that the creature in question has little to nothing in common with these creatures. Its form appears to deviate from the familiar profiles of our aquatic friends. As we contemplate the possibilities, it becomes evident that the ocean continues to guard its secrets. Could this be an encounter with a previously undiscovered species or a mythical creature that's not been seen in thousands of years? Either that or it's simply a play of shadows and light, teasing our perceptions. What thinkest thou? Taking a break from the paranormal, watch these majestic cougars walking along the Ghost River. It's refreshing, is it not? While they're a sight to behold from a distance, encountering these magnificent beasts late at night or at any other time of the day might change your perspective. Not only are they big cats, but they are equally dangerous. If you ever find yourself facing one, don't ever turn tail and run. Instead, make yourself appear larger, create loud noises, and slowly back away while maintaining eye contact. If you run or feel intimidated, they might just become emboldened and attack. But whatever you do, don't explore cougar territory alone, especially at night, for it might just be your last. For our next capture, we have good old Bigfoot, the paranormal celebrity. Although we would have loved complete footage of the creature, the Trailcam only managed to capture its backside. It seems to have a human-like gait and comfortably moves through its surroundings without care. You don't have to be a genius to know that it's probably this confident because it's close to its home. These observations raise several questions. Does Bigfoot live alone? Is it dangerous? And how old might it be? These creatures are now household names in all things paranormal. There is no conversation in the community without them coming up. One characteristic they all seem to share is their affinity for roaming the woods or observing people from a safe distance. Sometimes I wonder if they can talk or communicate like humans since they have human features. Well, I guess we'll never find out because no one has been brave enough to have a conversation with these enigmatic beings. Until that happens, they will remain the mystery that they are. The camera captures a moment so subtle and quiet that it would even make a whisper feel as loud as a plate dropping. Have a look. Out of nowhere, a figure suddenly appears moving fast towards who knows where. This mysterious thing looks almost like a ghost, with legs as long as that of an ostrich or maybe a flamingo. Looking closely, you realize it doesn't have an upper body. Its body is almost like that of a spider's web hanging in the air. Despite looking odd and weird, it's in a hurry, moving forward confidently, almost like it's invincible. Now, the big question is, where is this strange thing going and what could possibly explain its existence? Is it some kind of spooky creature, or is it just someone playing dress-up for Halloween? If it's the latter, then the person who came up with this costume definitely deserves the Costume Maker of the Year award. For all the brave Ghostbusters out there, the question remains, what in the world is this thing that's so hard to describe? If you're enjoying this episode and haven't hit the like and subscribe buttons already, this would be a good time to do so. Thank you for doing so, it means a lot. We have a bit of a creepy situation. Enough of the talking, let's look at the content. The image you're currently viewing was captured by a young girl who was sitting by another woman. Initially, they paid no attention to the picture. However, upon reviewing it later, they made a spine-chilling discovery. Above the young girl's head, an additional head appears to be floating in the image. In my view, it resembles the visage of an elderly man, his eyes hauntingly vacant. Could this possibly be the spirit of a loving grandparent drawn from the afterlife to share a fleeting moment with his cherished granddaughter? However, upon closer examination, the ethereal visage of a grandpa figure appears remarkably well crafted, almost akin to skillful CGI. Nonetheless, the uncanny nature of the image remains, inducing an eerie unease that's hard to shake. When you have intruders come into your home, you call the cops, or if you're brave enough, you face them. But guess who, or should I say what, this homeowner caught on a trail cam he set up to catch an intruder? Take a look. Did you see that? A white figure hovering back and forth. Instead of capturing a person or an animal, the trail cam caught something else, an ethereal entity, dare I say, a ghost, gliding among the trees. Now, how does he deal with this trespassing issue? Does he call the cops and say, "I have a ghost on my property"? Or does he call a priest to exorcise it and bless the land? But you gotta wonder, why is there a ghost on the property? Was someone killed there? After all, ghosts are known to roam in the area. They were murdered when they were human. What do you think about the whole thing, though? Next, we have this bizarre footage of a creature crawling out of a cave in the woods. Even the experienced cave explorers who captured the footage were left astounded and had never encountered anything like it before. It appears to have the head of an octopus, though its full body is still hidden. The creature has bony arms with claw-like appendages resembling something out of an extraterrestrial realm. If this does not scream alien and extraterrestrial, well, I don't know what does. Many have long disputed the existence of aliens, with some scientists calling the assertion a ridiculous one. But how do you explain this? There's simply no explanation. It doesn't look like any creature we know, and quite frankly, something like this should not exist, unless this footage has been manipulated or edited, which seems unlikely. There's been no official word on the footage, and all attempts to get one have simply been ignored and swept under the rug. Scientists who've opened up cannot identify the creature and believe it's some kind of alien. With all these sightings and talks of UFOs, this creature being an alien is not far-fetched. Tell us what you think of this creature in the comments below. Next, we have captivating footage that unveils a meticulously nurtured environment where lush trees have flourished beautifully and new plants are sprouting with life. At first glance, you might assume that this video clip is simply an ode to the wonders of nature. However, that assumption couldn't be further from the truth. As my eyes wandered through the abundance of greenery in this video, a dark figure caught my attention from a distance. Gradually, it makes its way deeper into the heart of the woods. It's not immediately conspicuous in the early segments of the video. How did the paranormal community handle the footage, you ask? Well, speculations arose, with some suggesting that this enigmatic entity could be an orangutan. Yet upon closer examination, the size, appearance, fur color, and head shape of the creature in question bear no resemblance to that of an orangutan. There's only one plausible explanation for this: Bigfoot. Yes, you read it right. Bigfoot captured on camera. The serene surroundings, coupled with the remote location of the sighting, add to the credibility of this astounding encounter. Could it truly be the elusive creature known as Bigfoot? This is where we invite you to share your thoughts and theories on this captivating sighting. We'll be reading the comments. Have you watched the movie Jurassic Park? If you haven't, then I must say I'm very shocked and surprised. If you have, though, then you've just seen how terrifying dinosaurs can be and look like. This next footage is like a nightmare and a dream come true all at once. Now let's examine the silhouette of this flying creature, if we can even call it a bird. Yes, this flying creature has wings and a beak, but doesn't it remind you of the flying dinosaurs from Jurassic Park, the ones that attack planes and snatch humans from the sky? The pterodactyl is what they're called. Discussions about the existence of dinosaurs have persisted for years, supported by fossil evidence. However, they're widely believed to be extinct. Some don't think so because of the hollow earth theory. Many believe they exist and are merely in hiding. Could this be one of those many who are in hiding, or is this video a hoax? Tell us your thoughts in the comments section. Take a look at this image that was captured by a trail cam set up in the woods. Do you see it? Can you make out what that is? We catch a glimpse of a mysterious creature, dark fur glistening, standing upright on two legs. It appears reminiscent of a dog, yet it possesses human-like arms and legs. As much as its face bears a striking resemblance to our domestic friends, you don't need to be a genius to know it's not one of them. In fact, I don't think this creature will roll over and settle for a pet when you encounter him. It would be a miracle if you made it out of this particular meet and greet without a scratch. It doesn't look like an ordinary beast that we know of. Could it be a Bigfoot? If you thought that due to its sheer size and posture, I understand, but Bigfoot has never been known to have the face of a canine. Only one creature has, the Dogman. Could we essentially be looking at a real-life Dogman? If we are, well, that's crazy. But then again, there's no other explanation for what we see before us. Unless, of course, that's just a man in a costume, but that's even a hard pill to swallow because it looks so real. But what do you think? Is this real, or are we dealing with someone playing with the feelings of the paranormal community? Lovely image of a husky interacting with and loving a wild buck. We can't tell where the husky came from or how it could know this buck, but boy, are we glad that there was a trail camera set up to capture this. It certainly ranks high on the list of things you wouldn't have believed if there was not a camera to capture it. Either way, it's an odd yet beautiful friendship, don't you think? Still, speaking of the dead, these guys from the YouTube channel Hunting the Dead hope to venture into the woods with guidance from the infamous Randonautica app. Just in case you didn't know about it, the Randonautica app generates random coordinates, often directing users to eerie destinations like graveyards and abandoned houses. This time, however, it led these guys to a road where they found a doll under the rock. Now, if you know about Annabelle and Chucky, you know that this is already a red flag and a sign to back down. But from the name of their channel, it's obvious these guys are going to take the doll with them. In their vehicle, they used a spirit box to communicate with the doll, recording their questions and its eerie responses. One question loomed. Was the doll inhabited by a spirit? To their astonishment, the answer came in a chilling yes.
Attached to this doll, like my friend thinks. What? Is it yes?
Common sense might have dictated they return the doll then and there, but driven by curiosity, they pressed on, firing off more inquiries as they carried the unsettling doll back to their home. A decision that, in my view, could be described as a considerable misstep. I just hope they're okay and that nothing odd and weird is happening to them. If you ever come across something like this, avoid it like the plague. We want you healthy and fine. At this point, the presence of extraterrestrials should not even be shocking to us anymore. Just take a look at this footage taken in California of the sky. Can you see the night sky lit up from the lights of what looks like some kind of aircraft? It looks like a craft detaching itself from another craft. The shapes of the two crafts are highlighted in the sky from the lights on them. Looking at how fast the craft is moving, you can tell that it's not something that was created through human engineering. It feels like, dare I say it, an alien aircraft. A few weeks ago, I would have laughed and called this fake, but currently I can't do so anymore. Could this be actual aliens? Is this thing even real? Are we in imminent danger? You know what? Never mind. I think I'm losing my bearing when it comes to these alien videos. But do tell me, what do you think? The concept of the supernatural and extraterrestrial beings is nothing new to humans, but coming face to face with one, however, is another story. There are not a lot of people in this world who have experienced these creatures, but those who claim to have done so are often left terrified and scared for life. They describe these creatures as being horrifying and are typically led to these creatures by one thing: curiosity. Now take a look at this footage taken by a homeowner in the backyard one night. He heard weird noises and went to check it out, only to come face to face with this being. It's hard to tell if this thing is an alien or some kind of demon because, to be honest, it looks like it could belong to both categories. The creature is very dark, with small glowing eyes, and stares into the camera, or rather the person holding the camera, as though it were looking into their soul. Its big head, while perched on the tree branch, looks creepy as well. I'm amazed the individual didn't just drop the camera and run inside. Speaking of mysteries, here is another one. This trail cam footage captured something sinister. As you can see, a fox is innocently scarfing down food left in a bowl, probably by the owner of the trail cam. But watch what happens next. Did you see that? Something swoops in and snatches the fox away. As you know, foxes are notorious for their slyness, agility, and alertness, making it nearly impossible to sneak up on them. In this footage, the fox remains completely unaware as something swiftly takes it away. It looks like a big, hairy hand. This doesn't make any sense because the predators in the wild do not have hands that big to snatch a fox. Ordinarily, predators would typically rely on scratching or using their teeth, but that doesn't match what we see in the footage. It's just suddenly swooped up. Could it have been taken by a creature with human-like hands, something that's a hybrid, say a werewolf? That's an exciting thought, but then again, it'll have to be a really huge giant to swoop it up like that, which is almost impossible. Could it be something smaller and practical, say an owl? Share your thoughts with me in the comments section. This next capture looks normal at first glance, but a second and third look and you'd realize that there's nothing normal about it. Take a look. We first met with what looks like a coyote. You look closely and realize that although it does look like a coyote, it has features that are somewhat reminiscent of a wolf. Despite the blend of features, it's not a coy wolf either. You look at its eyes and you'd realize that they're not a normal color you'd expect from such a canine. It almost looks possessed, as though there was some other entity possessing its body, or perhaps another being had shapeshifted and taken its form. A mother doe used to hang around the trail cam where this was captured until this evil thing started showing up. Am I just being paranoid, or do you see it too? Please say something in the comments section because this is just weird. Take a look at this trail cam capture that was sent in by a subscriber of the channel who wants to remain anonymous. What do you make of it? What do you think that is? I would have said ape because of its dominant features. It looks a lot like a chimpanzee. The slender arms, legs, and its thin and long body give it that vibe. Its face, sunken eyes, and other unusual features, however, make it look otherworldly. At times, I get a sloth-like vibe from it, but perhaps that's just my imagination. The story behind it is this simple. It was taken from a location that doesn't have any apes. The subscriber refused to say where exactly, but what do you make of the image? Does it look like any cryptid you know? Have you ever encountered anything remotely like this? Tell us in the comments section. We'd love to know because, frankly, well, we don't know what this creature is. Think that was scary? Take a look at this next footage. It was taken on a ranch in Mexico. If you're part of the paranormal community, then you should know that if Mexico is known for anything, it's that it's a hotspot for alien sightings. This is because of various appearances and alleged sightings of UFOs. Notable is the Roswell incident, where debris of glass-like materials was found, which are believed to be broken parts of a flying disc, which is essentially an alien airship. So the discovery of this creature was not much of a surprise to the residents, however. Its appearance is quite freaky. The creature looks to have pinkish skin and is naked. It's humanoid except for the head, which is very small and disproportional to its body. Its legs and neck are also very long as well. Whatever that creature was doing out there, no one knows, but upon realizing that it was being filmed, it jumped off the rooftop it was on and fled. Some paranormal enthusiasts who saw it believe it may be an alien. Others thought it was Slender Man, whilst a small fraction of the community thought it was a science experiment gone wrong. Personally, I think we may be looking at a CGI creation, but what do you think? Can you think of a more defenseless animal than a deer? You can't, can you? They easily fall prey to most predators and are typically their go-to food. They've no claws, and the only way they survive is to depend on their good hearing and swift hooves. And even that is not enough because they still end up on a dinner table. Because of this, deers have this screeching sound they make to warn others when they sense danger from afar. As you can hear, this deer appears to be crying out in the dark. It seems to have been scared by something out there, but unlike the fight instinct of its nature, this deer is still standing in its position, screeching out a warning to the rest. What could have possibly scared poor Bambi? There have been sayings that animals are more sensitive to the spiritual and paranormal. I don't know how true it is, but this footage might just be the proof we need for that theory. A man was playing outside with his dog when he noticed something strange, a transparent figure playing along with his dog. As the man walks into the yard, however, the playdate ends. The apparition manifests itself as it passes by the dog and disappears as though it were trying to make sure the owner didn't see it. The creature's size indicates that it's not human, probably a ghost dog or something far more sinister. Have you encountered anything like this, or is there a logical explanation for the whole thing? We'd love to know. Next, we have a Trailcam footage that was captured on a cold winter day in the woods by someone who was seemingly scared out of his wits. Have a look. Within this wintry scene captured by the uploader emerges a towering and enigmatic figure, its dark fur juxtaposed against the pale landscape. For some unknown reason, however, it appears to be upset, and this entity vents its apparent frustration upon a tree, shaking it vigorously. The strength exuded by the being makes the tree look like it's nothing but some plastic object. I mean, the strain could even lead to the breaking of the branches entwined with it. Analyzing this mysterious creature's physical attributes, it bears a striking resemblance to an ape, albeit of colossal proportions far exceeding those of a typical primate. So what could we be dealing with here? A singular explanation comes to the forefront. We're witnessing none other than the Bigfoot. Realizing this, the uploader of the footage left its territory and made his way to a safer place. We've shared a lot of Bigfoot footage, and today we won't be asking if you think this is real or not. Instead, we want you to know what you'd do if you ever encountered one. Next, we have something that you should really be afraid of. The footage starts with a mysterious creature peeking from behind a tree. It's a humanoid creature, but unlike the ones we've already reviewed today, this one is not ape-like. Instead, it's feline or cat-like. It has a human-like body with a tail and fur to match. Dark, human-like hair adorns its head as it casts a careful gaze in the direction of the camera. One important detail to note is that this footage was captured using a phone, not a trail camera, indicating that the creature is aware of the person behind the lens. Now, here's the million-dollar question. Was it preparing to strike or simply driven by curiosity? Honestly, we can't say for sure. Now, if this creature shares any traits with the domestic cats we keep as pets, you know it would be as unpredictable as they come. As scary as the footage is, there's one question we need to ask. Is this real? Now, as much as I'd love for a creature like this to be real, I have to admit it doesn't quite seem genuine. It appears to be CGI cleverly disguised as the real deal, but those are just my thoughts. What are your impressions? Next, we visit Montana for a suspected Bigfoot sighting. The locals have long considered this area a Bigfoot hotspot, but none have dared to venture into the woods to capture videos of these creatures, and the reason is simple: fear. And who can blame them? Take a look at the video. Can you see it? Just behind those trees, an ape-like creature seems to be staring directly at the person behind the camera. According to the person who uploaded the footage, even though they filmed the creature from a distance, the tallest one measures at least 10 feet, while the smallest stood at 7 feet. The one you're seeing on your screen is the smallest of the group. Take a closer look. It's no wonder why the locals have chosen to stay away from these creatures. While it doesn't appear to have any interest in those filming, just imagine if it actually intended to harm them. The potential consequences could be disastrous, or maybe I'm just overthinking things. What say you? Believe me when I say I've lived and experienced the supernatural, be it on land, sea, and even sky. One thing I haven't, however, seen or experienced is this. I simply don't know what we're dealing with here. Does any of you know? Please do share in the comments section. Oh, it just gives me the heebie-jeebies, if you know what I mean. Wow, that rhymed. Anyway, I'll be reading. Kindly hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Doing so lets you stay updated and allows us to create more videos for you. Thanks for doing so. Now let's continue with the day's episode. Next, we have this clip from the Philippines where citizens are seen collecting hundreds of fish. What makes this unusual isn't the number of fish being collected. No, it's the fact that these fishes are willingly coming themselves. Now, the skeptics might be rubbing their eyes, wondering if this is some kind of fishy prank or a well-coordinated community event. The truth is, no one knows how or why this is happening. Could it be a covert operation by the marine world to share their bounty with land dwellers, or perhaps a case of underwater Uber Eats gone rogue? The curious onlookers seem content, treating it like an unexpected gift from Poseidon himself. But the question remains, what's causing this underwater migration to the shore? Could it be a volcanic eruption stirring up the aquatic residents, or is it a supernatural intervention by the oceanic deities to provide for their people? Share your thoughts.
My father acquired the Bigfoot September 23, 1953.
What is that, you ask? Well, this man says that his father caught a Bigfoot back in 1953. According to him, his father found the creature in a swamp and brought it home. To preserve it, they placed it in the refrigerator, an unconventional choice, but one they thought would preserve the creature's features.
That they had no other choice, with most of them, to dissect them, cut them up so that they could get them out of the swamp.
The creature, with its brown fur and unusual features, remained frozen in the refrigerator for decades until he brought it out. When scientists finally examined it, they hoped to unlock its secrets, but their tests only deepened the mystery. The creature's DNA, appearance, and structure baffled experts, leaving them with more questions than answers. Was this truly a Bigfoot, a legendary creature of folklore, or was it something else entirely? A new species, a genetic anomaly, or even a hoax?
That they had no other choice, with most of them, to dissect them, cut them up so that they could get them out of the swamp.
While taking a nighttime stroll, someone encountered this surreal and eerie sight. Dozens of cats, maybe 50 or more, calmly walking along the side of the street. Their eyes glowed ominously in the darkness, reflecting the camera's light and creating an almost otherworldly scene. Immediately, these creatures sprang to mind. Where did these cats come from? Where are their owners? And why are so many gathered together? Now, we have no answers to this, but can anyone confirm if stray cats do this? So we can know if this is indeed something to be worried about or if it's just something surreal. Next, we have this massive, pale-colored creature emerge from the water, resembling a giant tongue as it wriggles with an eerie grace. But here's the kicker. This peculiar entity is devoid of any discernible features. No eyes, no nose, just a smooth, featureless surface undulating in the currents. Now, what could this mysterious phenomenon possibly be? Is it a previously undiscovered sea creature lurking in the depths and defying all attempts at classification? Or could it be a relic of some ancient, otherworldly entity emerging to confound and astonish unsuspecting observers? The possibilities are as vast as the ocean itself, leaving us to wonder and speculate about the secrets that lie beneath the waves. During the winter of 2018, a hiker was taking a leisurely walk through the snow-covered terrain of Oklahoma when he stumbled upon a strange and unusual footprint. Upon closer examination, the hiker realized that it was not a footprint of a regular animal, but had 3 distinct clawed toes and an upper part of the foot that was wider than the lower part. The hiker took a picture of the print with his foot beside it to show the stark difference in size. It was clear that this print was much larger than a regular animal's, leading to the assumption that it was made by a big animal. But what animal exactly could it be? After sharing the picture online, some suggested that it could be the footprint of a dogman, a cryptid creature that is said to have the characteristics of both a human and a canine. While there's no concrete evidence to support this theory, the strange characteristics of the footprint have certainly piqued the curiosity of many. What do you think about this intriguing discovery? Next, let's take a look at the impressive arapaima fish, which is large and covered in hard scales that are tougher than steel. The fish, often referred to as the Superman fish, is native to the Amazon. It can reach lengths of up to 15 feet, 4.5 meters, and weigh as much as 485 pounds, 220 kilograms. The arapaima has an elongated body with large, broad scales that are typically dark greenish-black with red markings toward the tail, giving it a distinctive appearance. But that's not all. Let's talk about the scales. These scales, which are extremely tough and more resilient than steel of the same thickness, provide protection to the arapaima from predators and other dangers in the water. Additionally, the arapaima has a primitive lung and needs to surface for air due to living in oxygen-depleted waters in the Amazon basin. The arapaima is a carnivorous species, feeding on fish, crustaceans, and even small land animals that come too close to the water's edge. What would you do when your daughter starts talking to an unseen being at the hospital? While you think about it, take a look at this clip.
Weird.
Is it you?
Is it me? It's not me.
It's motion sensor. There's no one over there. Okay, do it one more time.
Do it one more time, please. So, you're a girl? You're a girl! Are you She's a girl!
And just for show, let's see if it comes on right here.
Okay.
I'm right here.
Okay.
Nothing. Are you 5? Are you 6? 7?
8.
9? You're 9? You're 9 years old?
This woman and her daughter were in the hospital because she was not well. The faucet all of a sudden turns on as though there was someone there. The mother just thinks the motion sensor isn't working well, but her daughter insists there's a 9-year-old girl. She starts talking to her daughter, but the mother is unable to see anything. The conversation goes on and the unseen being tells them her name, while her daughter engages her some more. They leave the room for some scans and return to find the faucet back to normal. It never acts up again and the little girl tells them that the ghost is gone.
That was creepy.
What do you mean creepy?
How did Diva guess that? Yeah, it is creepy.
It was so freaky that her dad was involved, but on their return, nothing was there. If she was your daughter, what would you have done? Personally, I would have taken her out of the room. I mean, how do we know the spirit didn't attach itself to her or disappear to her home? It would be risky if that were remotely true, but then again, maybe I'm overthinking it. What say you?
What noise, baby?
Oh, it sounds like static. It's like on my phone.
Does it? Can you do a screen recording?
I don't know why it sounds like that.
I'm not entirely certain if this is a glitch in the Matrix or some sort of meteor shower gone awry. Those peculiar lights descending from the sky and plunging into the river are certainly out of the ordinary. While some speculate that it might be fireworks cascading into the water, we can't be entirely certain of that explanation. There's an eerie quality to the event that leaves room for doubt. What's your take on it? This video was recorded on February the 4th, 2024 from a passenger plane flying at 30,000 feet. While filming, the camera captured a peculiar object hidden among the clouds beneath the plane. The craft was not immediately visible as it did not resemble your typical aircraft or any other known object for that matter. It's unclear why the craft was hidden among the clouds, and this raises many questions about its origin and purpose. Could it be some sort of experimental aircraft or perhaps a hidden military vehicle? Alternatively, some have suggested that it could be a case of pareidolia, the tendency for the human brain to perceive patterns and shapes where none exist. Regardless of its true nature, this strange sighting has sparked a great deal of curiosity and speculation among those who've seen the footage. Many are eager to learn more about the craft and what it could mean for the future of aviation and space travel. Scientific advancements continue to pave the way for innovative inventions that are rapidly becoming integral parts of our reality. One such groundbreaking invention is the infrared vein finder, a remarkable medical intervention that revolutionizes the process of locating veins in the human body. This cutting-edge device operates by emitting specific wavelength lights that are absorbed by the blood, effectively causing the veins to become visible under the skin. As demonstrated in the accompanying footage, the veins appear as glowing lines on the skin's surface when the infrared light is projected, eliminating the need for invasive and often uncomfortable methods of locating veins. It represents a remarkable advancement in medical technology and has the potential to improve patient care and comfort. What are your thoughts on these remarkable advancements in medical technology? Do we need to slow down, or do we need to move even faster? Knowing what you know about our planet, would you lay eggs here if you were an alien? I know most of you might say no, but if our next clip is to be believed, then the alien clearly didn't get the memo. Two guys were exploring one of the cold regions of Utah when they came across this. First glance, no one could really tell what this is, so they got closer to the strange pattern in the ice, and one of them touched it. Yeah, touched it. First off, don't go putting your hands in strange and unfamiliar things. Secondly, whatever you do, if it looks bizarre or alien, don't even touch it or get near it. That's not what these guys did, however. They got close and even touched it. After touching it, the one who did stated that it was slimy. As if that wasn't a big enough cue to leave, they stayed around and filmed some more. After they had enough clips, they uploaded it online, and that's when the conspiracies started. Some thought it had to be an alien egg. In fact, this theory was paraded around and accepted by most. Just when it looked like the answer had been found, someone came in and stated that it had to be a hoax. This necessitated us to dig further, and then we discovered the unthinkable. This was actually no alien egg. It was actually an art project by an art student. A disappointing but remarkable piece of info. Kudos to the art student for fooling a whole community. Impressive stuff. Have you ever seen chickens play the freeze game? If you haven't, boy, are you in luck. Enjoy.
Oh, goodness. Where y'all going? Where are you going? You ready for some grubs? Let's go!
A man owning a poultry farm walked into his birds standing still for what looked like 4 to 5 minutes. Perplexed, he recorded the whole thing and posted it online. How is this even possible? The truth is, it shouldn't be, and the thought of it is just bizarre. Jesters who saw the whole thing told him his birds were probably playing the freeze game. You know, that game where you stand still after the music stops. While that's something fun to think about, our paranormal enthusiasts think the whole thing is a glitch in the Matrix. What do you guys also think? This next one is a compilation of deer exhibiting strange behaviors. They even, dare I say, look possessed. You can see the animals rolling on the ground, some moving in circles and some aimlessly running about. As much as some would like to classify this as paranormal, it's not. Yes, I did say they looked possessed, but with a little research, you'd realize that these animals are actually suffering. The cause behind these distressing actions is not of supernatural origin, rather it points towards a tragic and real condition known as chronic wasting disease. This malady affects various deer species, causing neurological degeneration, behavioral abnormalities, and eventually death. It's a devastating condition, and the footage serves as a poignant reminder of the challenges that wildlife faces, including disease that can impact their populations. While the scenes are unsettling, understanding the natural causes behind such behavior allows us to address these issues with empathy and work toward the conservation and well-being of our fellow inhabitants on this planet. If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us to make more videos like these ones for you. Thank you so much. Now, back to today's episode.
That is definitely not a terrifying sound.
A hiker, while in the middle of the woods, started to hear this strange howl. The sound went on for quite a while until it came to a stop. This wasn't a call from any known creature in the wilderness, which made everything eerie. When they shared the video online, one comment stood out. The suggestion reignited age-old debates about the existence of cryptids. Bigfoots have long been a figure of folklore and conspiracy, with countless sightings and reports but no definitive proof. Naturally, this has got people searching for proof of his existence. Are these hair-raising howls the cause of the elusive Bigfoot or an unknown creature lurking in the wilderness? Either of these will be a game-changer, unless, of course, it's merely an elaborate prank being played on our credulous ears. Hopefully not.
That is definitely not a terrifying sound.
The world is full of stories about strange and mysterious creatures. Some are proven to be hoaxes, while others remain intriguing mysteries. This particular footage might keep you up at night for days, maybe. In the video, a humanoid figure is covered in thick, shiny hair, both fascinating and frightening. At first, this creature seems like a new addition to the cryptid lore. However, the truth behind this creature is less mysterious. It's a well-crafted prop from a horror movie, Hail the Ratma. If you've seen it, then you know that this creature is the raw monster in sewage. Without prior knowledge, however, if you were to run into this in the dark, you may die of a heart attack. The filmmakers did an incredible job of designing a creature so detailed that it definitely looks real. The creature's mouth and grotesque head show the exceptional craftsmanship involved, don't you agree?
cows found mutilated, some of them cut with precision and their bodies seemingly untouched with no bloodshed.
If you thought that was weird, you might want to strap up for a mystery that's as baffling as it is unsettling. This farmer woke up to find his cows victims to mutilation. For decades, this eerie phenomenon has left farmers scratching their heads, and in this recent clip, the livestock meet their demise in a strangely precise manner. They were found on their sides with faces cut along the jawline and tongues removed. Weirdly, two of the cows sport circular cuts, taking away the anus and external genitalia. What makes this scene even more perplexing is the lack of blood, as if the whole operation was carried out with surgical precision by an otherworldly force. The farmer, leaning toward the extraterrestrial side of the spectrum, believes that aliens might be harvesting animal parts. The big question remains, for what purpose? With many varying opinions, there is not one clear answer for this. If we were to ask you, though, what would you say is happening? Extraterrestrial experimentation, secret government projects, or perhaps a well-coordinated prank that has spanned decades? Share your thoughts with us. After an explosion was heard, this strange light was seen in the sky. It's bright orange and moved downward, vanishing into the night sky.
Oh, look!
What is that?
Some say it's a flare gun, probably shot from the vicinity of the explosion as a distress signal. It's a common enough scenario and makes sense, right? Well, not everyone shares the sentiment, and many believe there's more to the situation than meets the eye. As the camera shakes, some keen observers point out the fact that the streetlight and the mysterious skylight share a suspiciously similar shimmy, and this naturally leads to some skepticism. Could the whole thing be the result of CGI? Many seem to think so. Believers in the paranormal, however, insist that there's something ominous happening in the footage. Personally, I don't see it, and Julius, my new assistant whose judgment I trust, doesn't see anything. Even Aaron, the believer of all things paranormal, thinks something might be trying to pull a fast one on us. What do you think?
What is that?
Oh my goodness!
Oh my god. Something exploded. What is that?
Late night rides are very thrilling and calming, but then they say the devil always comes out to play in the night. In the quiet of the night, a group of friends set out on a late drive, seeking the tranquil atmosphere that comes with the night. But their expectations are shattered when they encounter something chilling along the road. In the dim light, they spot a figure dressed in a blood-red robe standing by the roadside. Its presence just gives you this haunting feeling. The friends who saw this just sped out of there in fear. But what was that figure? Was it a ghost, a spirit, or something more sinister? You tell me. What's going on here? This man can be seen striking what looks like a fish-like creature with a metal, but instead of cutting through, there are sparks of fire. The intense sparks suggest a strong interaction between the man's tool and the creature's metallic coating. But the true story behind this encounter remains a puzzle, leaving us wonder about the creature's true origin and purpose. Could it be a living being with a strange metal coating, or something a bit more extraterrestrial? We'd like to hear your thoughts on this one. If you have proof that this is a carefully crafted hoax, please don't hesitate to share. An observer from a distance saw a group of bulls dashing in front of the woodlands in Alberta, Canada. While watching the herd, the observer noticed something else walking by. As they looked closer, they realized that it was a massive, furry creature with broad shoulders and a coned head. The creature's size and description fit the description of a Bigfoot, a legendary ape-like creature that's believed to inhabit remote forests and mountainous regions across North America. This video footage of UFOs flying over the surface of the moon was captured via telescope on Earth. The video shows multiple unidentified flying objects appearing to fly in formation over the moon's surface. All the objects have different shapes and sizes which don't match the tech that we have here on Earth. This has sparked a lot of debate among people who are interested in extraterrestrial life. Some people believe that these objects are proof of the existence of aliens on the moon, while skeptics believe that they are simply satellites or debris in space. There have been age-old conspiracies about the existence of aliens on the moon, and this video has reignited discussions about them. Some people have suggested that there might be a secret base on the moon that's being used by aliens, while others think that these objects might be evidence of secret government operations. They may be simply debris or satellites, but it's also possible that there's something else entirely. What do you think? I know you're waiting for the next clip, but my new friend Bigfoot asked me to ask you if you have liked and subscribed, and if you haven't, please do so now. Thank you. What would you do if you woke up to something like this? Before you answer, let's talk about the fascinating world of art. Why? Well, the answer is simple. It allows individuals to showcase their creativity in many ways, and one person recently demonstrated this beautifully. They embarked on an art project centered around the theme of heartfelt expression. But I gave my heart to you, and the result was truly captivating. The artwork took the form of an upper torso of a human figure, delicately crafted to hold a heart in its hand. The artist fashioned the figure from sackcloth and positioned it to hang behind his bedroom door. Little did he know the impact this creation would have on the night. After retiring to bed and switching off the lights, the artist was startled to find the figure's eyes glowing in the darkness. It seemed to be fixated on him, casting an eerie and unsettling presence that lingered in the stillness of the night. Despite sharing the evidence to show that it was not something eerie, many think he ought to be careful because during the day the thing has no eyes, but during the night it appears to have eyes that glow. What do you think?
This the spot. Nah, come back out. Look, why they be peeking?
Stepping away from eyes staring from the darkness, what do you know about eyes that stare in the light with bodies you can definitely make out from the darkness? Confused? Well, watch this. You see it, don't you? It looks like a tiny fairy looking at the man recording. For context, he was exploring the woods when he realized he was being watched. He looked around and noticed these tiny beings. For a moment, he thought his eyes were playing tricks on him. Maybe he'd had too much to eat. He then took his camera out to record, and funny enough, the beings were still present on the cam. Not only were they seemingly hiding in the trees, they were also peeking. Were they surprised to see the man, or were they simply surprised he could see them? That's hard to say. Nonetheless, I did some digging around and realized different cultures have records of little people who lived in places where humans wouldn't disturb them. If that's to be believed, then it's safe to say these guys were not happy about meeting this inquisitive human. At least, that's my hypothesis. What's yours?
Spot. This the spot. Nah, come back out. Look, why they be peeking like?
This video of a mysterious craft flying over Miami has caused some confusion and controversy. The footage was captured by an eyewitness who believed they had witnessed an unidentified flying object. However, others soon came forward to suggest that the craft in question was a military stealth bomber. It's not hard to see why the eyewitness might have been confused. The craft in question is sleek and black and moves with remarkable speed and agility. It's the kind of vehicle that looks like it could come from another planet. However, closer inspection reveals that it's a military aircraft. Despite the clarification, the sighting has caused some concern among locals. Miami has been on edge since an alleged alien sighting a few months ago, and many people are worried that this latest sighting might be evidence of a more sinister phenomenon. What do you think?
Hey guys! It was like using the force on a cursor.
Now let's talk about scientific interventions. Meet the first patient to undergo the groundbreaking Starlink brain transplant, a procedure that seems to be yielding promising results thus far.
Playing chess, and so this is one of the things that y'all have enabled me to do, something that I wasn't able to really do much the last few years, especially not like this.
Reports indicate that the patient's cognitive abilities have shown marked improvement, as evidenced by his adeptness at playing chess on the computer, an accomplishment he previously struggled to achieve. This early success raises intriguing questions about the potential enhancements in intelligence and cognitive function that may accompany the completion of the procedure. What do you think about the whole thing, and would you get one if you had the chance to? It seems that paranormal creatures, supernatural beings, and cryptids are becoming even more real as time goes on. They're now perceived as actual creatures rather than just scary bedtime tales, and by no other than the Vatican. A whistleblower has mentioned that they're being provided with guidelines and training on what to do in encounters with supernatural beings. Now, this doesn't look like a joke if the Vatican came to release this, but it doesn't end there. Unsettling reports have surfaced on social media from other teachers claiming schools conducted drills for alien encounters, including a so-called skinwalker test lockdown at an Ohio school in November 2023. Additionally, a phenomenon dubbed demon face syndrome has emerged, where people claim to see human-like figures with demonic facial features reminiscent of the viral case of a woman who reported seeing a demon on a plane. These bizarre occurrences have fueled speculation that something ominous may be looming. Some have even theorized these events could be linked to the European particle physics lab CERN, suggesting their experiments may have inadvertently opened a portal, allowing interdimensional creatures into our world. The question on everyone in our team's mind is, why now? The funny thing is, we don't have answers, but if it's true, then we might be in serious trouble. Did you watch our previous episode, the one about the alien ship scanning living organisms and objects on our planet using lasers? If you didn't, please watch it after this episode ends. If you did, then you may understand this clip a little better. Enjoy. You see it, right? That's different ships scanning different areas with the same green laser. There's no way you can tell me these are all coincidences. I mean, coincidences that we have alien-looking ships flying at top speeds with green lasers scanning buildings and individuals? I don't think so. And you know the interesting thing? These were sent in by different subscribers, yet they'd all had one thing in common: green lasers. This has us wondering and asking how long these things have been going on for. Are they scanning just to keep our DNA, or are they searching for something or someone in particular? What do you guys think? A tragic incident occurred in El Salvador when a car drove off a bridge. This tragic incident, however, led to a rather shocking discovery. A few moments after this happened, a truck passed by the scene with the camera capturing an eerie sight: a cloaked dark figure atop the vehicle, resembling the Grim Reaper. Given what had just happened some moments ago, this was not too shocking. The Reaper had come to collect the soul of the unfortunate accident victim. Now, logic often challenges us to find rational explanations for such occurrences. Some might argue that it's a trick of light and shadow, or perhaps an oddly shaped object on top of the truck. However, the symbolism of a figure resembling the Grim Reaper in the aftermath of a fatal accident is undeniably too much of a coincidence. Whether one believes in the supernatural or not, these moments can evoke a sense of awe and make us ponder the mysteries of life and death. But then again, we can't help but wonder if we just saw a Grim Reaper on the job. A couple buys a 1960s home thinking they've hit the vintage jackpot, only to uncover Pandora's box of strange artifacts left by the previous owners. Among many of the things they found was a suitcase they decided to open and check. When they opened it, they were shocked to find another smaller replica of the suitcase inside. Apart from that, they found a pencil, an eraser, and candy. Nothing out of the ordinary, but guess what they saw when they opened the smaller one? There was a doll strapped into the suitcase. Now, I don't know about you, but this looks like the scene from a horror movie where people tamper with cursed items, and then all hell breaks loose. The couple was very creeped out by this. I mean, who straps a doll into a suitcase and then puts the suitcase into another suitcase, if the thing is not possessed? I think they should move out of the house, and if you were in such a situation, would you have opened the suitcase? While in the woods, someone was startled by this strange noise. That didn't sound like any creature we know, and to make matters worse, it sounded like it was coming from a huge creature. The individual who shared this footage believes that it was a Bigfoot. Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, you know, that large ape-like creature rumored to live in North American forests. People who claim to have seen Bigfoot say they've heard deep, strange calls similar to the noise you've heard now, which adds some credibility to it. There's also a chance the noise could be human-made. Maybe someone playing a prank or using special equipment to create spooky sounds. What do you think? In this clip, a TikTok user shares his haunting encounter. According to him, there was a strange child in a long furry skirt and a thick jacket, and wearing an animal mask that would stand on his compound in front of his house and stare right at the door.
So I'm standing here. In the same spot.
Would always see this child through the Ring camera just standing there unmoving. He had no idea who it was or why they were there. One day he mastered the courage and walked up to this child while filming. As you can see, the child stands there unmoved and unshaken in the same strange outfit. This is a very disturbing situation.
You okay? Are you okay?
Is this child simply curious or eccentric, unaware of the discomfort they're causing? Or could there be something more sinister at play, a darker presence hiding behind an innocent facade?
Hello? Seriously, man, you're kind of creeping me out. Where are your parents at? Hello? Hello?
Somewhere in India, someone captured this bizarre situation. There on a field was a strange-looking object made of fire. What makes the situation even more peculiar is the presence of a being, pure white, walking away from the fiery object and eventually shooting up into the sky. Now, the armchair UFOlogists and paranormal enthusiasts are in full swing. Could it be an angel, a celestial being making a pit stop in the earthly realm, or are we looking at an intergalactic tourist who decided to make a fiery entrance before taking off again? The skeptics might be rolling their eyes, whispering about elaborate hoaxes or perhaps an unattended bonfire gone rogue. But the believers are already weaving tales of divine visitations and extraterrestrial encounters. Next, we visit the coast of Point Dume, California, where there's apparently an underwater structure that has sparked speculation and fueled many conspiracy theories. It was reportedly discovered in 2014, yet attempts to venture in it have been thwarted by challenges created by its geographical location, which include but are not limited to strong currents, along with potential risks of decompression illness due to its depth in the water. So what are some of the theories circulating about the structure? Some of these theories include the fact that it's an alien base being converted to a government facility, among others. While Aaron and I love wild theories, even we have a lot of questions. For starters, if the government is trying to convert an alien base into one of its facilities, why would its images be accessible to anyone using Google Earth? Don't get me wrong, we're always open to these possibilities, but the facts just don't add up. Can any one of you who lives there confirm this for us? Would really appreciate it. If that made you throw your phone away, I'm sorry. I'm not saying that's what happened to me the first time I watched the clip without warning, but if that happened to you, you're not alone. This was uploaded by a guy who states that he was attacked by aliens on the way out of his apartment one day. I can't imagine what it would feel like to be attacked by aliens, but I can positively state that it's not an experience I would be looking forward to. As always, we delved in to make sure the clip was not doctored. Our in-house video editor scrutinized the clip and realized there was nothing wrong with it. But Julius, our science guy, wanted to have a look, so we mailed it to him, and he thought the clip was fake. He states that although it's convincing due to the sudden attack, he looked at the creature's attack and realized that aside from the hands moving, its upper body was unusually stiff. He looked at the clip a few more times and believed it had to be a puppet or a bad pranking costume. What's your take? I've seen things, I really have. In this line of work, however, there's always going to be something beyond what you've experienced. That, for me, is this first clip.
It's very eerie standing in a spot where somebody has perished. This is an old 1883, I think it said? 1807? I don't remember. And I have to see that literally somebody died in here. There is a body. Well, they're probably not anymore, but
It's bones.
a body in the bottom. Look,
No, I'm sure probably.
Can't even see the bottom. Here. Actually, it shows up pretty good on camera here. There is something at the bottom of that freaking well.
You know how it feels to own one of those houses from the 18th or 19th centuries. It gives you this feeling of accomplishment, connection, and what have you. Sometimes, however, it leaves you with an eerie feeling. These individuals have been enjoying their home until they discovered this well, which had a dead body in it. I don't know how I would feel about discovering a dead body in a well on my property. Fortunately for them, it didn't appear to be a recent death and seems to have occurred centuries ago. There's one disturbing thing, though. Even after the body was moved out of the place, the family still felt there was something or someone down there. It was a feeling they couldn't explain. So a paranormal investigator was invited over, and surely enough, when they looked down, there was a pair of eyes looking back up at them. As expected, this left the family shaken. But the good news, or at least I think it's good news, is that whatever it was, it didn't feel like leaving the well. It only looked up at them from down below. This has led to the conclusion that whatever it is, it's the ghost of a girl who died. With that conclusion in mind, they decided to leave it alone. That sounds plausible, but what if they were seeing something that wasn't the ghost of a girl, but the spirit responsible for her death? On the shores of an unknown location, this massive creature was discovered, and it looked quite peculiar. Its skin was covered with a thick layer of dust, which made it even more difficult to identify the exact species. The creature appeared to be deceased, and its eyes were bulging out, which was quite a disturbing sight. The size of the creature was enormous, which made it even more intriguing to examine. It's still unclear whether it's a new species of fish or an unknown creature that's been living in the depths of the sea. Further analysis and research are required to determine its exact origin and species, but what do you think it is? During this gathering, a small and unusual creature was present, unbeknownst to most of the attendees. The creature had striking animalistic features, particularly noticeable in its ears and face, which stood out from the typical appearance of cats or dogs. It was not a common pet, nor did it resemble a rag. A young girl who stumbled upon the creature identified it as a duende, a mythical creature from Latin American folklore. Despite the excitement surrounding the gathering, the creature remained unperturbed, sitting silently and calmly, observing the contestants as they prepared to swim. What do you think it was doing there? What would you have done if you were the one who'd noticed it? Let us know in the comments section. Optical illusions can play tricks on our minds, making us see things that aren't there. They take advantage of the quirks and limits of our perception, creating images that could be seen in different ways depending on how you look at them. Take, for example, the first clip. At first glance, it looks like there's a spooky, pale skull staring back at you. It's eerie and unsettling, making you think of ghosts or the supernatural. But if you look closer, you realize it's just a dog with its head resting at a strange angle on the bed. The way its fur and features are positioned make it momentarily look like a skull, but it's simply a trick of perspective. The rest of the clips are no different, and this shows how our brains can misinterpret what we see, especially when the scene is unusual or ambiguous. What seems like a scary apparition at first could just be a normal moment captured misleadingly. Imagine the number of weird sightings we have freaked out over that was just optical illusions. Aliens have perpetually piqued humans' curiosity, shrouded in fascination and enigma, whether through accounts of sightings in the dead of night or grainy videos. This footage captured over a densely forested area revealed a perplexing sight among the trees, an otherworldly entity. This enigmatic being had a disproportionately large head with dark penetrating eyes, and its gaze eerily tracked the movements of the camera. Every day, the line between science fiction and reality gets blurrier, and the idea of meeting aliens becomes more real. I mean, they might just become our next-door neighbors at this point, or do you think I'm exaggerating? Many stories have circulated about people who have allegedly captured footage of skinwalkers, but this particular video is especially intriguing. It shows a skinwalker during a transformation. The incident took place in the Skinwalker Ranch, where the person was walking through a deserted area when they stumbled upon a strange-looking creature perched on the rocks. At first glance, it seemed like a crouched human, but as the person kept filming, they noticed that the creature was transforming into a cat-like being. The transformation appeared to start from the feet and move up to the head. As the creature continued to transform, it became more apparent that this was a dark-colored panther. Once the transformation was complete, the panther jumped over the rocks and walked off into the wilderness. It was an eerie sight to behold, and the person recording the video was visibly shaken by the experience. This type of behavior is typical of skinwalkers, which are believed to be shapeshifters who can transform into any animal they desire. What are your thoughts on this intriguing and mysterious encounter? Another day, another UFO sighting, but this time with a twist. Witnesses report an unconventional craft hovering in the sky resembling an acorn. While saucers and octopus-shaped UFOs often dominate the reports, this sighting introduces a new and intriguing variation to the mix. The peculiar shape of the craft sparks a wave of speculation and intrigue among enthusiasts and skeptics alike. Could this unconventional design hint at a new wave of extraterrestrial technology, or is there a more earthly explanation waiting to be uncovered? Julius calls it fake, but what do you guys also think? While on a hike on a mountain, someone captured this. It was just a regular day when someone saw this weird triangular aircraft hovering over a mountain. It was just floating there, spinning around in broad daylight, when all of a sudden a bright beam of light shot out from it and hit the top of the mountain. It's almost as though it were either dropping or picking up something. There are all these crazy conspiracy theories about UFOs and aliens setting up secret bases in far-off secluded places around the world. The way some weird stuff has been coming out lately, you have to wonder if some of these wacky conspiracy stories might actually be onto something. The big question, however, is, did the person actually stumble across an alien hideout up in the mountains in the middle of the day, or was it all just an elaborate hoax meant to get people worked up about little green men? It's hard to know what's really going on. The lines get really blurred between what's legitimate and what's made up nonsense designed to trick us. With so many bizarre unanswered questions out there, who knows what other strange things could be happening right out in the open without us realizing it? Camping alone in the middle of a forest can be a peaceful escape into nature, but it can quickly become unsettling when the quiet is interrupted by something strange. One camper's story highlights this perfectly.
Not sure if you guys ever seen the Blair Witch Project, but damn, this is just giving me Blair Witch Project vibes.
A man went camping alone in the forest. As he was about to retire to bed, he started to hear something and felt this eerie feeling like he was not alone. So he decided to look around to make sure there was no one around. As he was checking, he heard a voice from the darkness. Take a look. Did you hear that? The voice said, "I see you." Despite being afraid, he still moved toward the voice but found no one.
Ooh. Okay. That was creepy. I need to get out of here.
After a few minutes, he then began to feel like he was being followed. So out of fear, he decided to go back to his campsite, but he had lost his way. Thankfully, however, he did make it back safely. If you ask me, I'd say that's quite a scary experience. The scary thing is he never found whatever was responsible for the noise, even when the day came, which has left him and his community wondering. Was it a creepy person out there trying to give him a scare, or did he encounter an entity out there? I guess that's an answer we may never know for certainty.
This. Oh, hi. What the hell?
Ryan! Oh my god, Ryan!
Two New Yorkers seeking refuge from a snowstorm in the balmy confines of Fort Lauderdale found themselves face to face with a phenomenon they likely hadn't expected: a tornado. Witnessing their first tornado, they trained their gaze on the awe-inspiring spectacle unfolding before them. The tornado, a force of nature with its agenda, danced unpredictably from place to place, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. As you watch the footage, you can see the tornado's power as it effortlessly lifts objects into the air and transforms the serene waters below into a chaotic battleground. Hopefully, no one got hurt, but it's safe to say that these individuals were mighty glad they were nowhere near it. The connection between animals and the spirit world has long been a subject of fascination, with many believing that animals possess an innate sensitivity to the unseen. In a piece of intriguing security cam footage, this idea comes to life as a dark, man-like mass appears in the middle of the street, engaging with a group of stray dogs. The dogs, seemingly aware of the entity's presence, focus their attention on the mysterious figure. The entity bends down, placing something on the ground. Ghostly treats, perhaps. While some may be quick to attribute the footage to skilled editing, others entertain the notion that it captures a genuine interaction between the ethereal and the animal kingdom. Having watched the clip yourself, what do you think is going on here?
Afternoon, Trinity County, and all of East Texas. Sheriff Woody Wallace from Trinity County here. Look at here, we got some dumpers. And everybody knows we don't tolerate dumping in East Texas, especially in Trinity County. So, I don't know who dumped this, but we're going to do everything we can to find out. What the perpetrators don't realize is on both ends of this road, I have cameras up. I can see the cars when they come in, I can check the cars when they come out. If they had a bunch of garbage when they come in, and it's not still in the back of their truck when they leave, we've got a problem. So, this right here.
Now in this footage, a sheriff was having an interview with a park in Texas, Trinity County. As the sheriff passionately addresses the issue of dumped trash, urging viewers to respect the sanctity of the park, something emerges behind him from among the trees. The sheriff doesn't see it, but viewers do, a creature standing upright and covered in fur. But before anyone can get a good look, the creature disappears into the trees, leaving everyone amazed and unsure of what they just saw. But one thing is for sure, this creature was no bear or gorilla. Many who saw the clip believe we got a Bigfoot on our hands. But what do you think? Thought it would be appropriate to go out with a big bang. Oh, look at that. A massive bull with huge thick horns on its head. In many cultures, bulls are revered for their vitality and celebrated in traditional sports like bullfighting and rodeo. But despite their grace, their power can be daunting. Imagine the damage it would cause if it sweeps you off the ground. For all their majesty and magnificence, bulls are creatures to be approached with caution. Their strength is unmatched, and their potential for harm is real. In their presence, one can't help but feel humbled by the raw power of the natural world.
I don't know, but you tell me what you think that is. It looks like something out of an arcade game.
In this recent and intriguing footage, a peculiar light was observed moving in circular patterns in the night sky. The unusual movement raised questions about the light's origin and nature, as stars typically don't exhibit such behavior. Skeptics, ever watchful, cast doubt upon the authenticity of this celestial waltz, proposing the involvement of CGI in crafting such enchantment. Yet others lean toward the possibility of something more enigmatic. Could it be a celestial phenomenon, a dance of light refracted through the Earth's atmospheric layers? Alternatively, does it signal a visitation from realms unknown, or just someone having a little fun with a flashlight? This next clip was recorded back in 2018 when a man went camping in the woods of Oregon, alone.
Shoots Oregon, well, close to Bend, Oregon.
He did his best to film everything, but little did he know those short clips he filmed would be documentations of the last moments of his life. As he settled in at nighttime, he heard noises outside his tent. It sounded like rocks being moved about. But how?
Sounds right outside the tent. There's someone right outside the tent.
Perplexed, he shouted for whatever or whoever it was to leave, but the noise continued.
Leave me alone!
Based on the footage, one can even state that his shouting might have attracted the intruder because it came towards his tent and attempted to get in, but the camper saw it and ran out. After he was sure he'd lost it, he settled down and started looking around. Perhaps he wanted to make sure that whatever it was had really gone. But then, out of nowhere, a tall, pale creature came toward him, and that's where the footage ends. The man was never seen again, and the only evidence of the incident is this footage. Did you catch a glimpse of what appeared to him, though? It looked gray and alien. What do you think happened to him? UFO sightings continue to fuel ongoing discussions and capture public interest. Reports of unidentified flying objects frequently make headlines, and the topic seems to be gaining momentum. This recent sighting comes from Germany, where an observer reported seeing a distinct triangular-shaped object in the sky. Given the prevalence of drones in modern airspace, it's important to consider the possibility that this sighting may be attributed to terrestrial technology. However, the question remains, could this mysterious aerial object be evidence of extraterrestrial visitation? While mourners were gathered at a funeral ceremony of a deceased woman, something strange happened. One of the wreaths that was placed on a metal stand began to move. The whole metal stand in the wreath swayed back and forth, and this began to stir a commotion among the mourners. They start to cry hysterically because they assume the dead lady is trying to talk to them. We've heard some of these things happen in cultures around the world. This, however, is one of the first times it's been recorded. What do you think? Real, staged, or something else entirely with a more logical explanation? Please share your thoughts on this one. Take a look at what this underwater camera captured. It's not just the lights falling from the intriguing sky, there's something massive lurking beneath the surface. This creature captured on the camera isn't your typical whale or shark. It bears a striking resemblance to prehistoric fish. It's as if a creature from the depths of time has resurfaced, adding another layer of mystery to the already perplexing events unfolding before us. What do you make of this unexpected discovery? Now, what do we have here? A fisherman went to sea, and among the usual catch, he found this translucent, insect-like creature wriggling in his net. Its strange appearance captivates those who see it, sparking curiosity and speculation. What could this creature be, and where did it come from? Some suggest it might be an extraterrestrial visitor from distant planets. Others propose it could be a new species yet to be identified. You have seen it too now, so what do you think? In this next footage, a man captured a strange creature emerging from the corner of his building. He was woken up in the middle of the night by strange noises, and not thinking that this could be dangerous, he just went out to take a look, and that's when this thing appeared from the side of the building. It was a pale, eerie creature with contorted limbs resembling a twisted version of a human. Its jagged fingers added to the unsettling sight. With such an otherworldly sight, the man hurriedly retreated in fear. What could that be? Was it a supernatural entity, a product of mutation, or something else entirely? Next, we've got this. Yes, I did use the word this because I'm not exactly sure what we're looking at. It looks like a hybrid between a chihuahua, a child, and some sinister being. At first glance, the whole team thought it might be a chihuahua hiding in the bushes, but after several glances, it became evident that this was something much more. Can you guess what the team settled on? Well, it's not hard. Go on, guess. If you thought or said alien, you're right. Most of the team concluded that this had to be an alien. Aaron, our skinwalker specialist, believes this might be a skinwalker. I get where he's coming from. After all, skinwalkers like to turn into canines. I get it, but can we really accept this as a skinwalker? Well, we can't seem to reach an agreement, but perhaps your insight might help. What do you guys think this is? Let us know in the comments. This image was taken in North Queensland, Australia. According to the witness, while walking through the bush, he spotted a strange-looking creature standing silently in the bushes staring back at him. He described the creature as not very big, but smaller than a human and covered in dark fur. The witness had never seen anything like it before. Fortunately, he was able to quickly snap a picture before the creature took off. The image is now being examined by experts to determine what the creature could be. While it's uncertain, some have speculated that it could be an Australian yowie, a mythical creature similar to Bigfoot that's said to haunt the Australian wilderness. Others believe it could be a previously unknown species of animal. At this point, no one knows for sure what the creature in the image is, but what do you think though? A yowie or something else entirely? Share your thoughts in the comments section. What do you think this is? The individual who sent it believed he'd run into a creature of the night, but after careful scrutiny... Wait, actually, no, there was no careful scrutiny here, just scrutiny. So after some scrutiny by me, I realized it was nothing but an owl. I mean, you guys can see it too, right? Wouldn't it have been funny if I made a whole section about a monster that was nothing more than an owl? The brain is an incredibly vital part of the body, and it's difficult to fathom a person being able to function without one. However, there exists a remarkable case that challenges this notion. A recent head scan of a French government worker displayed a significant reduction in brain matter, with about 90% of his cranial cavity filled with cerebrospinal fluid. Despite this, the individual had an IQ of 75, prompting the question of how he could function with such a drastic reduction in brain tissue. It was revealed that the man had experienced hydrocephalus as a child, a condition in which the cerebrospinal fluid accumulates in the brain. This fluid buildup compressed the brain tissue against the skull, leading to the loss of much of his brain matter over time. To treat this condition, a procedure was performed to divert the excess fluid, typically involving a shunt that drains the fluid to another part of the body, such as the heart or abdomen. Remarkably, despite the significant loss of brain matter, his body managed to function effectively. He went on to marry, have children, and work as a civil servant. This case serves as a truly fascinating example of the brain's plasticity and the body's ability to adapt and compensate for extreme medical conditions. Now what do we have here? Another bizarre and intriguing sight, a man with feet where his hands should be and hands where his feet should be. At first glance, it seems his limbs have been switched, with toes where fingers should be and vice versa. But if you look a bit closer, it becomes clear that this image has been altered, perhaps with Photoshop or something. The way the limbs blend, the awkward positioning, and the overall weird look, this isn't real. It's a clever digital trick. Our digital tools today have become so advanced that they create incredibly realistic images and animations. Artists and filmmakers use these tools to create fantastical creatures and alter appearances in ways that wouldn't be possible in real life. In this case, the man with swapped limbs is probably a creative project meant to surprise. What did you think when you first saw it?
I'm getting a video. There's this huge thing making a re-entry right now.
In this next clip, a man on the road becomes an unwitting witness to a mesmerizing event, a mysterious ball of light gracefully gliding through the sky, leaving behind a radiant trace. It almost seems as if the object is signing the heavens with its luminosity.
huge fireball up in the sky. That's actually sick.
One question lingers. Was this celestial phenomenon a mere meteor in its fleeting brilliance, or could we be looking at extraterrestrial visitors camouflaged in such a manner so they would appear unsuspecting? It's hard to say, really. On one hand, I see a meteor. On the other, I know how far our extraterrestrial neighbors will go to keep their presence a myth. So what do you guys think is happening here? Share your thoughts with us. Capture from a farm where a perplexing discovery was made. Our discoverer, who also doubles as a farmer, stumbled upon a creature with a striking resemblance to the legendary chupacabra. The creature barely had any hair on its skin and looked a little strange and perhaps sickly. While many would have thought that they were dealing with a canine suffering from mange, our discoverer insists that this was a chupacabra. According to him, he'd noticed other things which made him sure it could be a chupacabra. For one, his chickens had been mysteriously disappearing in a way that was reminiscent of the work of the chupacabra. We're not exactly sure if he was finding the chickens with their blood drained. If he was, it could entertain the possibility of a chupacabra. Other than that, my team and I believe he may have simply encountered a canine suffering from mange. The disappearance of his chicken could also be associated with the same creature we're seeing, or coyotes and other predators that may live around him. What do you guys think, though? Is that really a chupacabra, or is the farmer simply seeing things that are not there? Share your thoughts in the comment section. I don't know if you've ever watched the movie Life, but this footage gives me traumatizing flashbacks of the Calvin creature. Imagine this. While going about his day, a homeowner spots something utterly eerie perched on the corner of his roof. What in the world is that thing? It looks like some sort of a spider with multiple legs, but unlike a spider whose legs are on both sides of its body, the legs of this creature are all around its body and they look more like tentacles than spider legs. Strangely, the creature seems rooted in place, yet its rhythmic heaving movements mimic breathing. While skeptics dismiss it as a hoax, others entertain the eerie possibility that it's a voracious human-eating spider. Could this weird creature be some new species of spider, or could this be some really good CGI? Personally, I believe if that thing was a spider, whoever posted this would not be alive to do so. But probably that's just me. What do you think? This image is said to have been captured by a cam in what appears to be a multifunctional room, serving both as a sleeping area and a makeshift kitchen in a two-in-one kind of hostel room. In the photo, two people sit, each engrossed in their space, seemingly unaware of the enigmatic presence hovering above them. This ghostly figure bears an uncanny resemblance to the chilling dementors featured in the Harry Potter series. This looks like a perfect scenario embodying the statement, "There is more than meets the eye." People who left comments on this image suggested that the apparition might not have been visible to those present in the room. According to some, one needs a unique gift to see such entities with their own eyes. Seeing through the camera lens is a different ballgame altogether, though. Everyone in the paranormal community believes this is legit, but my logical mind isn't accepting it. What do you think, though? Could this actually be real, or is the uploader of the capture messing with us? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section. A man by the name of Erwin Saunders claims to have captured pixies in the forest. Let's take a look at the clip he posted to support his claim.
He's been trying to hurl these across to his accomplice on the other side, and if I just move the camera across, you'll be able to see just there. He's gesturing back to him and saying, "Come on, throw another one."
In the clip, we see small humanoid creatures with green skin, bald heads, and pointy ears on the sides of their heads. Both were on rocks that were a bit apart from each other. One had these wooden contraptions on its back and had gathered some sort of fruits on it. while the other was making hand motions as if asking for some of the fruits to be thrown to it. It's very fascinating to watch and looks very real. Pixies are often depicted in folklore as playful and mischievous creatures, usually associated with nature and woodland areas. The details in Irwin's footage, from the appearance of the creatures to their behavior, looks very convincing. However, in this age of advanced technology and digital effects, it's essential to approach such extraordinary claims with a healthy dose of skepticism. On the other hand, the world is full of unexplained phenomena, and there's always the possibility that there are things out there that we have yet to discover. What are your thoughts on this?
There, he's gesturing back to him and saying, "Come on, throw another one."
And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.